Also, we changed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. We changed. I'm gonna be introducing Tanay first. Then I'll go on stage and then introduce you. No, I'm introducing her from here, but Zami is giving me the cue. Yeah. Move, move, move. He's because we're gonna start. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Can you guys hear me? Welcome to Oman Women's Summit. We're gonna start with a musical performance. So please welcome Tanay and her band. They're releasing their album in her hometown, Muscat, on the 1st of November, Between Two Doors. And they'll be singing 2 songs from the album. Enjoy. No, that's my seat. That's my seat. Sorry, sorry.
Thank you.
Aisha.
After so many years of being alone, now I'm back to where I belong, to a place where I call home. Always one out and not to teach me life ain't all that easy. It's hot out there than I had thought. No one is as warm as I fought to make it through each day with no support, surrounded by people with no hope. Don't think like you, now you're stuck in a circle of people you just can't trust. Live your life at this moment. Don't push fast forward. Every smile that makes you happy, replay priceless moments. Live your life at this moment. Don't push fast forward. Every smile that makes you happy, replay priceless moments. Life is a lesson, make sure to embrace positive changes, that's the way to go. Leave behind all your flaws, be thankful for everything you have. Look around you when you're feeling sad, cut negative people that surround you. Represent yourself and be crowned and not clowned by the people that are earthbound, and appreciate you around. And don't forgive your life for this moment. Don't push fast forward. Every smile that makes you happy, replay priceless moments. Don't forget to cut out the bad people that dispose your dreams and demean your value. The weak revenge and strong forgive. Refuse to entertain the negative. Live your life for this moment. Don't push fast forward. Every smile that makes you happy, replay priceless moments. Live your life for this moment. Don't push fast forward. Every smile that makes you happy, replay priceless moments. course, my mother's from Oman, and I'm so blessed to be half Omani and to be here tonight with all of you. My final song, the name of the album, Between Two Doors. I hope you enjoy this. Happy Women's Day for the last week, Omani Women's Day, and blessed to be here with all of you. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. When we first met, you and I, we were meant to be one. We were soulmates, it must have been fate. Nothing could tear us apart. I never knew that this would end, and how I tried to make amends. But it's over, yes it's over. No, I can't pretend. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. It's been 3 years, and this time did fly by. Day in, day out, the same thing every time. And then I met this sweet-looking man that swept me off my feet. My mind said no, my body saying yes, and I've let go. He's taking control. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. My mind's saying no, my heart's saying yes. I'm saying no more, no more. I wanna repeat. And now, I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Yeah, should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Yeah, should I go left? Should I go right? My heart's saying go straight through. I'm between two doors, and I don't know what to do. Yeah, should I go left? Should evening.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Tanae. Guys, please give another round of applause for them. They did an amazing job. What a great way to start this evening with some jazzy music. I like it. Welcome again to Oman Women Summit. My name is Noor Al-Mahrouqi. I will be your MC for tonight. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about myself. As you can tell, I'm 100% Omani, 100% halal, Al-Safa chicken, Al-Safa. You know, since I was a kid, I always looked up to all these amazing, successful, talented, strong women, and I was like, one day, I want to be like her. And now here I am, years later, in front of you, as a comedian. Dreams do come true sometimes. Maybe not in the way you expected, but they do. It's nice to see such a diverse crowd. But if you guys in the back feel like you're too far, you can come forward. There's some seats in the front. If you feel like you need to get okay, it's fine. You can stay where you are. No one wants to move. Before we begin, I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. I'd like to introduce the organizers of this amazing event. It's kind of the first of its kind. So to give the opening remarks, please welcome Mazoun Al-Zijjali from Experiment Events.
Welcome, Your Highness, Sayyida Rawan bint Ahmed Al Saeed, MP Safa Al Hashim, our honorable guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me, Mazoun Al-Zijjali, to be part of the first edition of Oman Women Summit and part of Experiment Event team. Experiment Event, it's a creative house which is specialized in creating concept events and to cooperate event management services. We are known for our existing flagship event, Entrepreneurs Conclave, which has successfully completed 3 years in a row. We are also happy to say that we have extended our services to MENA region. As a female Omani employee at Experiment Events, I am happy, excited, and great that I could contribute at this great initiative that we have today. I am sure you are all wondering the story behind Oman Women Summit. Well, for me, being the ambassador and representative for different organizations, projects around the world, I was able to explore and attend women projects and summits where I was wondering, why don't we have such a great opportunity in Oman? Well, joining Experiment Events gave the inspiration a platform, which is where we are here today. I would like to say thank you to Mr. Zamil Amin, Director of Experiment Events, for realizing the importance of hosting Oman Women Summit. Also, team member Mr. As'ad Javid, General Manager for all the support. Today we are here to make a change and stand by each other. I hope you all will have a wonderful evening with our amazing panelists and speakers. To begin the event, I would like to call upon Sayyida Rawan bint Ahmed Al Saeed, the chairperson of NBO, Deputy Chairman at Oman Oil and CEO of Takaful Oman, to inspire us with her words.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I was supposed to open my speech, but I think if I talk from heart to heart, it will be much better. I would like to welcome everyone here who are here, and I would like to welcome for those who have traveled to be with us and to participate with us in this event. I would like to thank the organizers, Experiment Event, to give us this platform to show, to exhibit. Just, I don't think we are exhibiting everything. It's just the mini, what we are exhibiting. So I won't take long here. We are all here to listen to the experiences of others and to learn from them and to, I think, to flourish. We are here, we have been given this opportunity. We should make sure that we work for it, we show what we can give, and we have a lot of potential to give. By this, thank you all, and I wish you a lovely evening. Thank you very much.
Sayyida Rawan. And now for our next speaker, I don't know where to begin to explain how amazing this person is and how inspirational she has been, not just to the women of the GCC, but worldwide. She is a politician who's the only female member to be consecutively elected as Member of Parliament at the Kuwait National Assembly after women regained the right to vote and stand for office in 2005. She's a well-known public speaker. She's recognized by governments and businesses as a leading voice on economic and social issues. Being MP since 2012, she has managed to gate pass many legislations. One of them is the 1 billion Kuwaiti dinar SME fund for the young generation, which is her core aim for generational change. She was named GCC Businesswoman of the Year 4 times. She was 2007 Female CEO of the Year, and her achievements are just too many to count. Please welcome our chief guest, MP Safa Al-Hashim.
مساكم الله بالخير. أسعد الله مسا الجميع. سألت في البداية قلت تبوني أتكلم إنجليزي ولا عربي؟ وماكو أحلى من لهجتنا. في البداية لما قالت لي مزون شابة رائعة ذكية عمانية متقدة طموحة، كلمتني وقالت لي It's a women's day. قلت لها لا تقولي لي أنا فزت في أعلى منصب سياسي تحصل عليه امرأة خليجية في يوم المرأة العماني. كنت من ضمن وفد برلماني في جنيف نحضر الانترناشنال بارلمنتيريان يونيون IPU، وهذا منصب اللي ترشحت له هو نائب الرئيس للجنة الدائمة الرابعة للأمم المتحدة، بمعنى أنه منصب سياسي ثقيل، منصب غير عادي، يركز على التنمية المستدامة، يركز على how to elevate the standards of living، شلون نقدر نطور من حياة الآخرين والشعوب بالذات في منطقتنا، يركز على جودة التعليم، يركز على جودة الصحة المقدمة لشعوبنا، بالإضافة إلى خلق جيل جديد. هذا حلمي generational change. 66% من عدد سكان شعوب الخليج أعمار أقل من 35 سنة. تصدقون ولا ما تصدقون؟ What we will do about it. جهزنا شيء؟ ذهبنا شيء؟ هذا المنصب رفيع للمرأة الخليجية، للعمانية، الكويتية، الإماراتية، القطرية، السعودية، البحرينية. هو فخر، أولاً لأنه منصب أول مرة تحتل امرأة عربية خليجية. شكراً. اللي بقوله لما سألت مزون قلت لها مزون تبون real life examples، أتكلم أمثلة حية. أنا عادة ما أحب الجمل المطاطية، ما أحب أتمقط في السوالف، أبي أعطي أمثلة حية لأن المثال الحي توصل الفكرة. قالت لي اللي ريحك قولي عن women in the forefront. قلت لها الله، المرأة في عالمنا العربي تسوي دبل إذا مو 3 أضعاف الجهد اللي ممكن يسويه الرجل في أي مجال. لاحظوا، إذا اشتغلتي في بنك ومعك زميل كلمتها يعتد فيها وانت لازم تأكدينها أكثر من مرة، واللي ما يأيدني خليه يرفع ايده. إذا اشتغلتي في مكان وصرتي CEO أو جنرال مانجر، أرجوك تبزون قولي لي على الوقت، ترى أنا I can go on forever. إذا صرت في مكان قالوا لا شلون حطوا مرة، شلون وفي فلان وفلان، اللي يصير حق فلان، اللي يروح مزرعة فلان، اللي يقعد مع السيركل اوف فلان، شلون حطوه؟ لما تصيرين انت تبذلين الجهد 3 و4 مرات، هذا الجهد المضاعف ما يكسبنا الا خبرة وفطانة ودراية وعلم وثقافة وحنكة وقوة في الرد. ما في أقسى من عملي في البرلمان. كنت أظن لما كنت أشتغل في الانفستمنت بانكينج إن العمل مع مجالس الإدارات صعب. ليه ما رحت السياسة؟ شفت إن السياسة صعبة، التعامل مع الزملاء صعب، فما بالكم وأنا مرأة وحيدة. I'm the only female MP in the Kuwait Parliament. It's not a picnic. العملية ما هي سهلة أبداً، عملية مزعجة. شون أقدر أفرض رأيي؟ كان لازم من وين أجيب 33 سنة خبرة. هذه رسالة للجنريشنال تشينج، الصغار، أنتوا البنات اللي تطمحون إلى خلق مستقبل لكم. ما تكونين عنيفة، بس عنيفة في أفكارك. ما تكونين سليطة لسان، لكن صاحبة حق وصوت مسموع بالحجة، بالأرقام، بالدلالات. لا تظنين أنا ما أبي أتكلم لأن أخاف يهاجموني بالاجتماع مع الإدارة أو في الاجتماع اللي يسوونه بين الموظفين. لا، كوني جسورة. السلاح بالعلم ممتاز، بس ياما سمعنا عن ناس نجحوا بدون شهادة and they made it. حتى لو كان عندك باشن صغير داخلك تبين تسوينه عشان تقدرين تحققين طموحك، مشروع صغير أيا كان. لما جيت في 2003 إلى عمان كان السوق متعطش، قلت أبي أخلق شيء لأني حبيت هذه البلد. حبي لعمان ما حد يقدر يخالفني فيه، ولا حد يقدر يقول لي عنه شيء. أحب ودافع عنها البلد بكل ما أوتيت من قوة، لأني مؤمنة فيها وبشعبها. أؤمن أن هناك قدرات غير عادية. لما جيت وحطيت من جيبي عشان أساهم في مشاريع صغيرة لقيت القبول. لسنة كاملة وأنا أجول الجامعات أدور على أفكار خلاقة، لقيت الأفكار الخلاقة، لقيت اللمعة في عيون بناتنا وأولادنا وهم يدرون أنهم بينجزون شيء. لقيت البسيطين اللي جاييني لكن أفكار أكبر من العالم. لما شجعناهم انطلقوا، وانطلق 8000 مشروع صغير. هذا اللي نحتاجه، هذا اللي احنا محتاجينه اليوم. اليوم زمن المشاريع الصغيرة والمتوسطة. لا حد يكسر مقاديفكم، لا حد يقول لكم ما يصير، لا حد يقول لك ما راح تقدرين تصعدين السلم. لا، تقدرين بالطاقة، بالفكر، وبعدين ثقفي نفسك بنفسك. You need to spoon feed yourself the ABC of management. ثقفي نفسك كأنها لقمة تاكلينها. شلون أتعلم؟ every day has to be an experience. أمي الله يرحمها كان عندها مثل تقول كل تعلومة بطراق. يعني كل درس في الحياة every lesson in life comes with a slap in the face. من الشاطر فينا اللي يعرف شلون يتعلم من هالكف وما ينعاد ويتشطر ويقدر. يا ريت كان عندي الوقت عشان أستعرض لكم الحالات اللي صارت. قدرت أستعرض لكم فكرة المشاريع الصغيرة، قدرت أستعرض لكم بموجز بسيط شلون ممكن نقدر نغير هذا الفكر. قاوموا لا حد يكسر مجاديفكم ليه ما نلاقيكم في أعلى المراتب. الهمم ما تيجي يوم وليلة. ما تنامين وتقعدين ثاني يوم وتقولين أنا عندي passion for something. لا، you have to build it. تبنينها من داخلك. يوم ما توصلين راح يكون عندك القدرة إن ما حد يقدر يوقف بطريقك. طب تقولوا لي شلون إذا ببدي مشروعي الصغير ما عندي رأس مال؟ شلون أبدي إذا ما عندي حتى رأس المال؟ ابتدي بالفكرة and start knocking on doors. ابتدي طقي الأبواب. أنا أول مشروع بديته في حياتي، ترى أنا اشتغلت 9 سنوات كئيبة في الحكومة. Very disappointing years I have worked with the government. I hate every minute of it. كرهته وكرهت العمل في الحكومة. ليش؟ لأن العمل في الحكومة روتيني، ما كان يعطيك ذيك الطاقة اللي تقدر تبذلين فيها وتنجزين. لما بديت كانت معي feasibility study من 20 صفحة، حطيتها تحتي ومشيت and I started knocking on doors. Every bank, every investment bank, every financing company. I want to start this business. كانت الفكرة a management consultancy where I can be the other brain. باختصار شديد I started with 500,000 KD and I ended up with a size over 500 million. You can do it. شكرا شكرا. يا ريت أقدر أطول. Thank you so much. Beautiful audience.
شكرا والله نشكرك. نحن نحبش أكثر ما أنت تحبي، أكثر من ما أنت تحبي عمان. Our next speaker, I remembered what I wanted to say before. Sorry, my dress is falling apart. So I'm just going to hold it. So I remembered what I wanted to say before. We have an amazing agenda for you all. We have so many speakers, panel discussions, all packed into such a small amount of time. So I need you guys to keep the energy up. Can you do it? I'm not convinced. Can you give me a bit more? Okay, that's not good enough. I see people in the back who didn't clap at all. One more time. Can you give me some energy? I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, our next speaker is an athlete and a Spartan Global Brand Ambassador. She has a full-time job as a communication specialist. She represented Oman during the World Team Championships in the US. She has climbed the highest mountain in the Middle East in Iran and summited the highest peak in the African continent. Please give a warm welcome to the incredible Marwa Al-Wadahi.
Is it? Does it work? Yeah, okay. Assalamu alaikum. It's an honor and a great pleasure to speak today on such a great platform with amazing women. My name is Marwa Al-Wadahi. As she said, I'm an athlete and a Spartan Race Global Brand Ambassador. I would like to show you a clip of some sports I do, CrossFit and Spartan Race. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone. So, as you've seen, I'm into sports, into competing, into challenges. I had the honor last year to be part of Team Oman, Team Oman in the Spartan World Championship, consisting of 1 female, me, and 2 guys. It was the best race experience ever for me. The best race experience ever. The honor of representing your country on such an international platform, being a hijabi and Arab, breaking stereotypes, meeting people, Arabs uniting together to complete a long, grueling race course, taking us up and down mountains and in a very cold weather of 4 degrees Celsius. It was a really tough experience, but an amazing one. All of these sports I do have had a positive impact on me, mentally and physically. And today I would like to share some lessons that I learned from these sports. Number one, if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Last year, during the World Championship, being in a mixed team, females like me were requested to carry men's weight. So, for example, if you look at the picture on the left, that's the bucket carry. That's the men's weight. It's heavier. So that's the face of pain and suffering. But honestly, I loved it. It did not only make me mentally and physically stronger, but also I challenged myself and I felt stronger. Coming back to Oman, training felt much easier. So I would like to tell you all to challenge yourself, push your limits. It will only make you a better person, and you will discover areas of improvement. Next slide, please. Number 2, you don't have to be great to start. You have to start to be great. 5 years ago, I couldn't even do a single push-up. I used to see people doing push-ups and feel like, wow, you are strong. But alhamdulillah, today, I can do push-ups, I can do pull-ups, I can lift heavy weights. So I'll demonstrate push-ups. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I honestly and strongly believe that you don't have to be fit, thin, or a certain gender to start something. You, whatever you do, whether it's sports, whether it's arts, there are always easier variations and easier steps to start. So I've seen people start from zero and grow. So you just need to start and continue. You don't have to be great. Next, Number 3, passion. Be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. So last year, when I got the opportunity to go to the World Championship, I was told that I have to run 2 races in 2 days, an individual 26 kilometers race followed by a 14-kilometer team race. I was told it will be cold. I was told it will be tough and not anyone can complete the race. However, because I love challenges and I love challenging myself, I said yes. I did not know whether I can do it or not, but I went for it and said yes. Back. So basically, I fearlessly pursued what set my soul on fire. Moving to the next point.
You lost a lot of weight.
Thank you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Number 4, a fit body is equal to a fit mind. Being fit and practicing sports did not only help me be physically fit, but also mentally fit. It helped me be more focused, have a competitive spirit, and also a team spirit at the same time, which is a great thing. And it also helped me in terms of work, releasing stress, being more energetic, inspiring me, and
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
Can I just switch on your flicker?
I couldn't switch it on. That's why.
Actually not coming in.
How do you get prepared for it?
I practice sports on regular basis. Yeah, it's a progress. I couldn't do
You
push-up.
manage your time.
Yeah. It's because I love it. I make time for it. You know, when you love something, you actually make time for it and not excuses. Yeah.
Try. Yeah, there you go. Just
Yeah.
go right.
Yeah, okay. Moving to point number 5, empower each other. Last year, I had the honor of leading a team of women in the first ever women-only Spartan race in Dubai. And with unity and supporting each other, we managed to complete the race successfully and also to empower or help other Spartans along the way. And so we're going again this weekend, and so wish us luck, and and join us next year, please. Join us. I would be happy to accommodate anyone who would like to do such challenges and help them. So yeah, sure. Just approach me and I'll deal with it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, my team that's going this weekend is the age range is between the 20s. The youngest is 27. I take younger. That's okay. And I have 3 members are in the 40s. Yeah, 40 plus. So yeah, I have also different nationalities. I have a Kuwaiti and a Spanish lady and Omanis with me. Yeah, age, nationality, whatever, I help and empower. Yeah, all ages. I truly believe, actually, at the World Championship, that long 26-kilometer race, that was so tough. I saw a woman in her 60s or 70s doing it, and it's amazing. So I truly believe that anyone can do it if they set their mind to it. Whatever they are, they can reach if they set their mind to it. So one thing that I also love about sports is the spirit of community and support. People who help me improve my weaknesses, people who say words of encouragement, this kind of positive environment. Because I love when people do that to me, I do it to others. I encourage this kind of spirit or environment and nurture it. One other thing about empowering each other and sport communities is getting the opportunity to meet people like you and discuss cultural challenges and these kind of things that face anyone. So having a sport community is really great, and we empower each other. So yeah, that was my story. Now it's your turn to shine. It's never too late to start. There is no time like now to begin. Okay? One more point. That's my Instagram account, MAW91. Feel free to message me or follow or approach me personally. I'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Marwa, so much. That was amazing. Thank you, Marwa. Another round of applause for Marwa, please. Our next speaker is a Kuwaiti writer, journalist, and humanitarian activist. She's a senior editor at Kuwait News Agency, specialized in humanitarian journalism. She has made several voluntary trips to many developing countries. Please welcome the founder of the Kun Insan team, Arwa Al-Wagayan.
فريق إنسان فريق تطوعي يساعد الإنسان بغض النظر عن جنسيته، لونه، شكله، دينه، وغير كذي يقدم فرصة حق اللي حاب يتطوع مرة بالأسبوع كصديق إنسان.
احنا الهدف من فريقنا ان نقدم فكره التطوع حق الجميع ومساعده الجميع. طبعا قاعد نسويها مره بالاسبوع حق اللي حاب ينضم حق فريقنا، لكن الهدف الاكبر الاستمراريه في هذا النوع من النشاطات. احنا ما نبي فريقنا يكون هبه وما نبي يكون شيء يتسوى قبل رمضان، احنا نشاطنا مستمر من الصيف للحين وان شاء الله نبي نكمل. انا انصح الكل اللي يبي يجرب تجربه التطوع ما يفكر بس بالسفر، لان هذه الفكره اللي كانت سائده عند وايد ناس، يفكر بالكويت لان الكويت فيها احتياجات وايد كبيره. فأنا أشوف من الأولى أن نبدأ هني وبعدين نسافر، وهذا اللي يميز فريقنا أن احنا نقدم له فرصة التطوع بالكويت، والله يقدرنا إن شاء الله على فعل الخير.
الله يرزقكم إن شاء الله. يعطيكم الصحة
الله يسلمك.
Hello, it's on.
مساكم الله بالخير جميعا. طبعا أنا صفاء الهاشم، قدوتي بشيئين: الشعر القصير وأنها تكلمت عربي فبتسهل لي الموضوع الحين. أول شيء تحية محبة وسلام للجميع الموجودين، وتحية خاصة للمرأة العمانية اللي حققت الكثير من الإنجازات الدولية والمشهود لها. طبعا ما حد فينا يختلف على حب عمان والعمانيين، يعني هذا شيء خالصين منه. ما أعتقد أن في أحد يكره أحد عماني، مستحيل. أعرفكم بنفسي: أروى القيان، كاتبة وصحفية وناشطة إنسانية، ومؤخرا موظفة في جمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي. طريقي ما كان دائما سهل، طريقي كان وايد صعب. أول مرة جيت بتطوع فيها بحياتي كنت بالجامعة، قالوا لي لازم تبين واسطة، ما أدري ليش. ولما جبت واسطة بمستشفى السرطان، يعني أبي أنحس من كذي. فكنت 19 سنة أروح أزور المرضى وأشوفهم، بعدين قمت أكتئب لأن في منهم يتوفاهم الله وكذي، وأنا كنت يعني قلبي رخيف، مو نفس الحين. مو هذه التجربة اللي أبيها. اشتغلت بوزارة هم كحيانة كانت، ومن كثر ما هي ما في شيء تسوي، يعني قلت لا، لازم أتطوع أشوف لي شيء مفيد بالحياة. أسست أنا وزميلة لي كانت كلها تاكل بطاط بديان، فكنت أبيها تسوي شيء مفيد أكثر. قلت لها إيش رايك نتطوع، نساعد أحد، نسوي شيء مفيد بالحياة. فما كان في وايد مجالات حق التطوع، فقمنا نسوي نشاطات ترفيهية حق ذوي الإعاقة، المسنين، الأيتام. بس بعد فترة حسيت إن I want to take it to the next level. مو هذا اللي أبي أسافر برا الكويت وأعيش تجربة تطوع حقيقية. كلمت كل المؤسسات الإنسانية آنذاك، وكلها تقرتني. يا معاش محرم يبا، يا أنت مو متحجبة ما نبيك، يا لا نخاف نوديك أماكن خطرة تصير مشاكل، ما أدري ليش. ولأني مو صفاء الهاشم فمو كل من يعني يبيني، هي سهل لو بس تقولهم بتطوع يفرشون لها الأرض ورد. كان يصير فيني يعني مو لازم أكون فاشينيستا عشان أتطوع، مو عادي بعد. كان أسمع عن جروب رايح الهند مع مؤسسة عالمية اسمها IVHQ، إذا تبون تتطوعون فيها تسهل لكم، تدفعون لهم فلوس ويودونكم حق أصعب الأماكن للتطوع. طبعا أنا في كل هالرحلة لين دشيت 30 وأنا مو عارفة شنو أبي بالحياة. أدري إني أكتب زين وأبي أتطوع. هذه التجربة اللي غيرتني إلى الأبد. رحت الهند ورحت أفقر الأماكن اللي فيها، رحنا أسوأ الملاجئ، أسوأ المدارس، وبمكان بقعة جدا قذرة وزبالة حشاكم وحيوانات نافقة. كان أحس إن لقيت نفسي أخيرا. كان أكتب كتابي الأول في الهند، التقيت ذاتي، وهني أخيرا طوعت الكتابة حق شيء أحبه، وكانت كذي لحظة نور في آخر النفق. شوي شوي بديت نعرف. السوشيال ميديا مالتي كانت توني مبلشة فيها 2013 إن أخليها بابليك. كنت أبي أروح حق اللاجئين لأن استفحلت المشكلة، وهم يعني لازم أحد يعرف أحد يوديني مع أحد. لقينا حملة ودتني وبديت أقابل اللاجئين وأقعد معاهم بالخيام وأكتب ستوريز، وبلشت خط جديد بالصحافة وهو الصحافة الإنسانية، ما كان موجود أنذاك، وتخصصت فيه. بعدين صار طق مطاقق علي الحين، من كان يطردوني صار الكل يعزمني، حسيت كشخة يعني. الحمد لله. والدل على هديرة رايحتها بيروح واحدة جديدة. بس هم الكل كان يقول، يعني أنا كل شيء سويته ما حد شجعني. الكل كان يقول يعني منو بيتابع أكاونت فيه مآسي العالم ومشاكلهم؟ الناس تبي مضمون تافه مسلي ميك اب، يعني كل الأشياء اللي أنا ما أحبها بيسكلي. كان أقول لا، استحالة أنا بروحي بالدنيا كذي، أكيد في ناس نفسي. والحمد لله حسيت إنه لا، يعني مو إلا أنت يكون عندك مليون عشان تكون شخص مؤثر، يقدر يكون عندك 20,000 وتقدر تكون وايد مؤثر. فإيه، وهو مو عمره ما كان بكمية المتابعين، هي كانت يعني دائما بالنوعية، ولا كان أنا مو هني بعمان اليوم. خلاص صار عندي الخبرة، صار عندي المعرفة، تطوعت بأسوأ الأماكن، وخلاص صرت أبي أسوي شيء بالكويت. ما بي أشياء ترفيهية، ما بي أشياء أحس إني كبرت عليها. أبي أزور المحتاجين. عرفت النو هاو، رحت مع الهلال الأحمر قبل لا أشتغل وياهم كذا مرة، واستوعبت الطريقة شنو هي. وزائد وايد ناس محتاجين بدأوا يكلموني إن أنت ليش تساعدين بس برا، ساعدينا إحنا أولى. وما كنت أدري إن في هالكثر أسر محتاجة من الوافدين ومن غيره بالكويت. بلشت فريقي من السوشيال ميديا اللي الكل قال ما راح يصير عندك متابعة، بسناب شات واحد وحياتكم كان يصير عندي فريق ما أعرفهم ولا عمري شفتهم. تواعدنا بمكان وقررنا نزور هذه الأسر. اليوم فريق إنسان التطوعي هو فريق غير مشهر وما له مظلة رسمية وما عنده ميزانية. استطاع خلال سنة بالضبط، هو أوغست السنة اللي فاتت، تم إنشاءه أنه يساعد أكثر من 200 أسرة. أعدنا أكثر من 100 طالب حق المدارس، صبغنا أكثر من مدرسة، وخذيت جائزتين على الفريق كشخة، يعني ما قدمت لهم. فحسيت بالتقدير، وحسيت إنه وايد ناس كانوا يلتقون ذاتهم ومع فريق إنسان التطوعي لقى نفسه. كل اللي بقوله لكم نصيحة واحدة من أحد أبواب الدنيا وايد تسكرت بوجهها لين تبطلت بالأخير. ابحثي عن شغفك بالحياة، أو ابحث عن شغفك ولا تسمع حق أصوات الناس اللي بتحبطك. حلمك مو إلا يكون شيء سهل. يعني أنا حتى أهلي كانوا يقولوا لي ليش ما تنقين شيء سهل، طريق سهل، حياة سهلة، بس ما كان هذا اللي يونسني. أنا في داخلي كنت أبي شيء صعب وكان هو اللي يونسني. فلا تستحون من أحلامكم إذا هي كانت صعبة، ولا تقعدون أنتوا بالبرج العاجي وتبون دعم وأحد يساعدكم. إذا أنت ما حققت حلمك ولا أحد راح يحققه بالنيابة عنك. فكونوا نفسكم، ابحثوا عن شغفكم ولا تسمعون حق أصوات المحبطين وبس.
شكرا. شكرا أروى. اللي ما تعرفوا عن أروى، هي تكره بيض عيون. You hate fried egg. It's weird. Humanitarian activist, you hate eggs. Weird. Scrambled is fine, okay. Guys, I've been a bad MC. I forgot to introduce the video, so please enjoy this motivational video.
Wake up, do things differently, fly, reach out and touch the sky, explore, discover, start something new, be you, listen to that small still voice inside, believe, follow your dream, love what you do what you love. Show up every day. Erase the word impossible. Learn to say no. Never ever give up. Live your passion. Show your character. Imagine, create, inspire. Take your game to the next level. Move on. Keep calm and carry on. Test your mettle. Walk the extra mile. Show the world you care. Think, see, do, act, be the change. Keep on keeping on. Dare to do. Always remember, no matter what you do, Oman will be there for you.
So 2018 has been an amazing year for women all over the world, but especially for women in the GCC and Oman. For example, in Saudi Arabia, women are now allowed to drive. Yes, that's amazing. And in Oman, on 1st of March, Oman traffic law was amended to now allow women to drive taxis and operate heavy vehicles, which is amazing. I'm waiting for the pink taxi. I'm waiting to see it. But on that same amendment, they also amended, they made heftier penalties on traffic violations. So I don't know if that was a coincidence that both happened at the same time or, okay. Another thing, MGM now has women-only parking. So guys, you should check that out. But I went to MGM recently and I still can't find parking. It's a problem, it's a big problem. PDO announced that, last week actually on Omani Women's Day, they announced that the maternity leave changed from 70 days to 112 days. Now everybody either wants to work in PDO or wants to marry someone in PDO. Before we start, I would like to introduce our first panel discussion. It will be moderated by Professor Yusra where is she? Oh, Muzuki, who is currently the Vice Chancellor at Muscat University. She's the first female head of a university in Oman. She has over 14 years of experience in the UK higher education. She received her PhD in knowledge management from the UK and has developed a cross-disciplinary research profile spanning knowledge sharing and the sustainable agenda. Please welcome to the stage. And I'd like to introduce the panelists who you will get to know more in the discussion. Please welcome Dr. Rahma Al-Mahrouqi, Dr. Nadia Al-Saadi, Shayma Al-Aufi, and Sayyida Basma Al-Said.
Thank you, Noor. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to speak in English. I'll try and speak a little bit of Arabic, but we'll speak in English. Do you know, when Zamil asked me to... Where is Zamil? He's high. Okay, he's hiding upstairs. He knows he's in trouble. Okay. When Zamil asked me if I didn't mind moderating a little session with a few panelists, I thought, yeah, it's okay, I can do that. I've done that a lot in previous conferences and things. So I said, yeah, no problem, I'll do it. And he didn't tell me who the panelists would be and how big the audience is going to be and how heavyweight the audience is going to be. So needless to say, I'm delighted, absolutely honored to be here with you tonight, with such an amazing audience. What a great turnout. It really is a real joy. And special thanks to our speakers as well. Very, very inspirational. I will get on to introducing the panelists in a minute, but I just wanted to thank you for your support for Omani women and women in general. I think it's an amazing event, and thank you all for being here with us tonight. So the session tonight is about women in the mirror. And the idea behind the session is to stop and reflect and think about what our fears are, the challenges we face, and how we've overcome them. I think I'd be lying, I'm sure you'd agree with me, if we said it was an easy ride. It's never an easy ride. So I want to sneak into your lives a little and see how we can share and understand a bit more about what we can achieve. So I'm delighted to welcome the guests here on the panel tonight. And on my right, I have Dr. Rahma Al-Mahrouqi, Deputy Vice Chancellor of Postgraduate Studies and Research at Sultan Qaboos University. Dr. Rahma received her PhD in English and Communications Education from the University of Pittsburgh, USA. Her passion for education is exceeded only by her enthusiasm for research. Her role at the moment focuses on devising strategies for research development and innovation, which is a great area for Oman going forward. She's published widely on English language teaching and learning in Oman, with the major focus areas in teaching and reading, literature and English communication skills. So thank you for joining us. I've also got Dr. Nadia Al-Saadi here tonight. Nadia is currently the Executive Director of the Oman Animal and Plant Genetic Resource Center. And that's a mouthful. At the Research Council. She does research on conservation and utilization of genetic resources. Dr. Nadia graduated from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, and her field of study was plant genetics. She's working on developing strategies for plant conservation in the Sultanate. I've also got Her Excellency, Sayyida Basma Al-Said. Obviously, I think some of us, majority of us will know about Sayyida Basma, psychotherapist and clinical hypnotherapist, and is currently CEO of Whispers of Serenity, the first mental health wellness clinic in Oman. Sayyida Basma spent some time working with refugees in Perth, Australia, which, looking forward to hearing more about that, which has shaped her vision on many things. Notably, Sayyidah Basma won the GR8 Women Achievers Awards for her contribution to society in 2015. And last but by no means least, sitting on the end there, I have Shayma Al-Aufi, who is Corporate Communications and Change Management Manager at OPIC, with 13 years corporate experience, 10 of which in the oil and gas sector. Shayma has held many senior roles in her career and has been recognized for her critical thinking and challenging of conventions. Shayma, who established OPIC's Women Leadership Committee, remains chairperson of that committee. She's enthusiastic about working with OPIC's leaders to ensure Omani women are encouraged and supported to perform at a high standard of professionalism. I mean, that's amazing. So I think I'm going to probably start by sharing my own experiences a little. And the thing that struck me, listening to the wonderful speakers that we have here tonight, is that you were all following a passion. There was, something you wanted to do, whether it be sport or whether it was volunteering or whether... But that wasn't my story. My story was very much, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I grew up in the UK, spent a long time in the UK, and all I wanted to do was not to be known as so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's sister, or so-and-so's wife. That was my big thing. No disrespect to my father, Rabbi Tawal fi Umrah, or my brother, he's a wonderful guy, or my husband, and I'm not sure if he's here, but he's very supportive, but I say that. But all I wanted to do was something about my own identity. I wanted to be known for being Yusra, not for being somebody else's wife, sister, brother, whatever. And that seemed to lead a lot of what I did. And it seemed to, that was me in the mirror. That was how I reflected on myself. So I guess I'm wondering what woman in the mirror means for you. What does it mean for you as a Omani woman? And I don't know if Dr. Rahma, you want to start?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Masakum Allah bil khair. I am so glad to see such a great gathering, women coming together, of course, being empowered by sharing their own stories. This is a very important question, the one that you asked, a very serious one. For me, a woman in the mirror is a woman that reflects her own society. Women do reflect their own society, their own values, cultures, upbringing. And here in Oman, we're very, very lucky that we have a country that has empowered us, a sultan that has given us so much without even asking. And so it's incumbent upon all of us, to grab the opportunities offered by our country, because you wouldn't find such opportunities. A lot of women around the world, and I have gone to so many countries, visited so many countries, spoken to women across the world, they fight for opportunities, they fight for rights, but we have been given our rights. And I believe that Omani women are very talented. So yes, we are a reflection of the values of our societies, the culture of our society, but also we have the grit to transform our societies, to add to them, to change them, to make them shine, and also we are able to shine as well. So women should have a fundamental role in their societies, not only through work, but through leading, through providing a great example of yourself. You have so many roles. And if you do your best in these roles, if you find, a passion, not only a passion, but a mission. For me, I have always tried to find a mission for my life.
So what's your mission? Tell us.
Well, my mission has always been, to try to transform my surroundings. Every surrounding that I lived in, I wanted to make better. I was selfless. I never thought of myself. And I worked hard as I could. And I always believed that I can make the change, I can achieve. And alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, I have seen change around me. I have seen people change, I have seen situations change, and I have seen improvement. And I think that you're capable, each one of you, of making this transformation.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to share your thoughts, Doctora?
Thank you very much, and I'm also very happy to be here today and seeing such a wonderful audience here, the support for women. I'll talk about the woman in the mirror, and I think for me it's the girl, it's the daughter, the sister, the mother, the wife, the grandmother. If I take you along my journey and tell you of how I went through the journey, and as you said, it's not easy. No. We have to thrive even harder to prove ourselves. I started as a little girl, my first flight or flying in the airplane, and I noticed this very beautiful lady walking there, and I was like, I want to grow up and be air hostess. My dad looked at me and didn't say anything at that point in time. Later on, my mind changed. I became the astronomer. And my dad said, my dear daughter, come to the earth, be on the ground, and let's think of something else that you want to do. I was fortunate to have 6 brothers, and you know how brothers can bully you. So whenever we were talking, and I loved nature, I loved plants, I loved everything, they would tease me and tell me that, oh, you're going to be a farmer, you're going to be this. And I used to cry, not realizing that that's what we are doing to our girls, in making them feel that science is not for them. Yep. I knew I wanted to go into science. I knew I could do it, but I was not getting that support to move into that direction. And I really want to make sure that I bring this forward. We need this paradigm shift. We need more women in science. We need more girls to take science. We flourish in our education. The only thing is that once we reach that part of employment, we have this fear. Yep. It's a male-dominated world. And I'm speaking from science. It's a male-dominated world. Yes, yes. And I think I will turn the mirror on you and say, look at you, all the women there. You are capable of anything. Yep. It's the passion that MP told us, the passion that Marwa showed when she picked up the weights. You could see that passion and fire burning in her. That's what we need. And we thank His Majesty for giving us that 17th of October to empower us. Yes. So let's just move forward, keep moving forward.
Thank you. Sayyida Basma?
Okay, you kind of said a bit of... I told my dad I want to be an air hostess. He told me, do you want to be a maid on the... He broke me. But my dad did that. That was my dad. And every time he broke me, I would say, I will do something. And I guess the person in the mirror was me, was my challenger. Basma was her challenger. Every time I looked at the mirror, Basma was the eldest sister. Basma was the eldest in her cousin. She had to do something. She had to make a change. And she had to be a role model so others in her family, let's not even start outside, let's start within her family. So one day when she becomes a mother, her children will actually say, wow, our mom does this, we also want to do something good in our life, we want to help, and that was the challenge. And recently, I have twin boys and I have 2 girls, but they actually came up to me and it was something like this, and he came and he asked me, Mama, what do you do? And I was like, I do this. So what's your greatest achievement? I say this all the time, by the way. I talk a lot. People know I talk. Yeah, and I have the same problem. You have to tell me, bas khalas, stop. So I actually stopped. And I actually thought about it. When he asked me, it was different. When my son asked me, Mama, what's your greatest achievement? So I was like, shall I be like a typical, you, my son? And then my other brain was like, my greatest achievement is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think you stop. And the person in the mirror, I see her every morning, and she asks me, Basma, what are you going to do today that's different from others? What are you going to do today that's going to help others in a different way? So the thing is, sometimes we want to stay in this comfort zone. I'm going to say this because it sounds good. You know, I'm going to do this because she did it and it's safe. And that is not a challenge. Yeah. Challenge is what we see today. Up till today, I still challenge myself. I don't believe in this age thing. I'm sorry. I write it in the paper, and yes, my body is not functioning as much as it used to be. But I believe that your brain can make you young. Your brain can make you older. Your brain can tell you you're not worth it. Your brain can tell you you're worth it. And also, and maybe you'll be upset with me when I say this, I do not take the idea of men. Okay, we know, obviously. We know this. We've known it since we were kids around the world, right? Men, women, when. We're not going to get out of this, by the way. It's not going to end. I want to tell you, until we die, it's not going to end. So like His Majesty has given us a wing, and there's always been the other wing, why don't we literally fly now? We've heard this every year. We say we're happy, mashallah, we have 17th of October. But what have you done different from last of 17th October? Think about it. So maybe just fly now. That's what you need to do.
You're going to have to hold on to Shema. She's flying, you know.
I brought the wings back, I guess.
Yeah.
Wallah, صراحة, I'm very inspired by the ladies. I don't know what I could add from my side of the mirror. I grew with a very supportive family. And I grew with a family who are very challenging. So every day I got up in the morning, I had to not let somebody down. Mm-hmm. So I was a first in the family who went for university outside Oman. So I had to open the doors for my fellow cousins to do the same thing. So I flew to the UK at the age of 16. Wow. Yeah. At that time, ثانوية عامة used to finish early. Yeah. I was. So considering my size of my portion كده, it's tiny. يعني. So I'm young, I'm tiny, I'm Arab, and all that, you know. And I took it as a challenge when I went to 16. At 16 years old, I put coins on the phone and called my parents, you know, I don't like it out here. I need to go back home. Here I have to do the laundry, I have to do the shopping, I have to cook. It's cold. No one smiles at me on the road. I don't have friends. My mom was a really tough woman. She's behind today. Yeah. The only thing she told me, when you're in Rome, do what the Romans do. You're not coming back. And then I said, okay, this crying business is not going to work now. It was very tough moving from an Omani education system to a completely different system. It's very challenging. My life has been challenging every single day. Join a company and an audit firm beginning of my career wasn't tough. I audited, I think, most of the companies in Oman. Some companies were based in Risale. If you guys know the factories in Risale, there were toilets unisex. Yani you have to use the toilet and هم unisex. I got pregnant, I think, got married. I had to أركب سلم اللي فيه حديد that you could see through, that you feel that you were going to trip. But life was tough. My mom told me, that's life, la ترى. You wanted a job. بعدين I got a job in an oil and gas sector. Having a woman in oil and gas, growing in the ladder was شبه مستحيل. Maybe in banking is easier, but in oil and gas, engineers, growing, women talking with these people who don't see purple. They either black or white. Shaima comes full of creativity and ideas. Every time she comes with an idea, it's a block. Ish, you're young, you don't have the experience. Ish, it's not going to happen, it's going to fail. It was very tough. I used to go home and cry. My mom said to me that, you know, Shaima, nobody kicks a dead dog. And I said, what do you mean, am I barking a lot? He says, yes. So I went back and continued in ORPEC, since it used to be called Oman Refinery, then RPC, then ORPEC. Time changed. People, you need to prove people, you need to educate the system, what I say. You need to educate people, you need to prove them that there are different ways of doing things. We're all different. I'm not a man and I'm not going to be a man. I'm happy who I am.
Yeah.
أيوة. So, yeah. So I started my career as a senior financial analyst. Really hated my job. Same report every end of the month. Produce your report. And I said, Lala, this, you have to get out of it. The company got integrated. I was transferred to Sohar. I was told, take it or leave it. The job is in Sohar. I was, at that time, a mother of 3. My youngest kid was at the age of 1. So either you quit, sit at home, or go for another challenge. And I call it adventures, actually. Moved to Sohar at the Rabi' al-Khalij. You remember those times in Sohar, you guys? Yeah, so took it very challenging and exciting. That transformation happened at that time for me. I found myself. I had to prove to my husband, Lala, ana qadra. I can do it. 3 kids on board, adi, I can do it. There where I found myself. It's a new challenge. Always when you're given challenge in life, take it. Don't say no. Because once you say no, you create obstacles, and people judge you for that. So you have to be very careful on your decisions, because every decision you make in life have مثلا رد فعل. So إذا you want to go the moon, it's going to be challenging. ما بيكون في first class ينتظرك. No, it's not going to be like that. الطيارة رايحة ترى حتى في الكارغو. Yeah. So changed, خريجة finance, moved to strategy unit, got down into business, because in being on oil and gas, يقول you have to understand the business, otherwise you're not going to grow. Moved to strategy unit, I understood the business. Actually, I had the toughest boss. He used to be bullying me. So I used to use the leaders of the company as my coach, men. I used to tell him, هذا الرجال, he's عنصري. He doesn't like me because I'm Omani. And the guys used to tell me, Shaima, go with the flow. There'll be a day where you're going to turn the tables around. At that time, I never understood. You're going to build stronger muscles. You're swimming into the deep sea now. You're growing up. 30s and 40s is going to be really tough. خلاص ترى العالم, it's part of growing up. So I use men as my coach. Because I wanted to be a leader, la? So you had to know how these guys think.
It's interesting, actually. Very, very interesting. Yeah. It's the coping mechanisms, isn't it? It's how you cope with the realities you have. It's, I think that's the big thing, figuring out how you cope with the realities you have. I mean, I'm sure we've all developed. You use the men. This is very echoey. You use the men around you to cope with the realities you face, I guess. Yes. I use my height. I scare them. They're just scared. When I walk in, they're really scared. So it's great. I don't know what other coping mechanisms do we have. I mean, how do we deal with the realities and the challenges? I don't know. Sayyidah Basma, maybe you've developed, I'm sure, some coping mechanisms.
So my first teacher, if we're going to talk about men, was obviously my father. With him, you don't really cope, you listen. Till today, I listen. But yes, I do agree with you. But also, again, we have to understand ourselves, right? Maybe this is something I've said before. I'm one of those people who kept on thinking, why doesn't this person change? Why doesn't she change? It's so obvious it's wrong. And then I got to a part where I thought, maybe I need to change. Because change does begin with you, which I always say, but I should actually apply. And I noticed it does make a difference. So you're the one who needs to change. Like you changed by the way you're thinking. In my profession, mental health is something, they keep on telling me people don't want to talk about it. Although, alhamdulillah, I'm finding these days I'm finding a lot of people talking about it. Even people who are not even supposed to talk about it, they talk about it. So it's not a taboo as much, but it's still something sensitive, needed. I think everybody here today will agree that we've gone through something to do with mental health. And to get people to understand this, I had to have the passion. I had to have the ideas of change. I had to have the creativity. Because we're not old-fashioned anymore. We're not just Freud and the shizzlong and just lie down. Now people come and they're telling me, look, this is what I have. Okay, I looked it up on the internet. I have severe depression. You probably will tell me to do A, B, and C. And I think you should, when I tell you my story, it's a secret, right? You're not going to tell anyone. I think you should do this, and calm down your voice. And I sit there amused. And now I'm going into my 19th year in this. I was in SQH first, which I left because I didn't feel there was teamwork. That was my main reason why I left SQU. I felt there was no teamwork, and I loved what I did. And when I went to work one day, on the way to work, I was like, oh, this is so boring. And then I heard these bells in my head say, no, there's something wrong. If you stay with this, you will become like everyone else. And you'll just sit down, like everybody tells me to. Why are you fussy? At the end of the month, you'll get your salary. What's the issue? But the issue was me, because I loved what I did. So when I get patients like this, I am happy, in a way, because they're reading. But what are they reading? What are they? They're self-diagnosing themselves. So again, it's a challenge, right? Yes. I have to now talk to this person and see how they can help themselves. So again, we're going to hear a lot of challenge, passion, all of this today. But let's add to that. Let's start with us. Let's really start with us.
Absolutely, yes, thank you. Any other coping mechanisms, I think?
I'll start maybe as a child. I think my coping mechanism, I went to boarding school at the age of 10 years old, leaving my parents and staying away from family. I said, I know what to do to my parents. I used to send them a list of things I need. I need a watch, I need a torch, I need tang, I need cheese, I need this, I need that. And each and every item was delivered to me. I think I've made them feel guilty, a little bit of guilt. Then going to my education. So I studied abroad quite a bit, and most of my life, other than from SQU when I did my bachelor's. And my coping mechanism outside was support. My mom was very supportive, Allah yarhamha. I think she was my backbone. I remember when I went for my PhD, I had all my 3 kids in the US, so my son is my my master's, my daughter is the beginning of my PhD, and my other daughter is the end of my PhD. So she was there, and there were times when I really told my mom, I'm packing the bags, I'm going back. I was working in Sultan Qaboos University. I was a faculty there. And I was like, Mom, I cannot do this. It's just too much. I cannot do it. And she said, Nadia, the day you pack your bags and you go back, you're closing the door for so many women behind you. Yes. You can do it. Yep. Keep thriving. Yep. Keep thriving. And that's, thank you. And that was my motivation. And I won't tell you it was easy. I came back to the College of Agriculture. I was in the Department of Crop Sciences, the only female faculty. Now, what you were saying is very true. How do I get my voice up there? How do I convince them? I felt I was the black sheep of that meeting, especially when we are sitting in meetings. But you know what? As you said, you have to change. You have to change, and to change, it's you personally. I used to get frustrated, and I used to fight, and I used to, no, it's wrong, the students need this. It didn't work. They were a team, and I was the outsider. So what I learned is that I always now start with a positive note. I say the good, that there is good. Whatever good they're doing, and then I try to put in I think that way I can get them to listen to me. But otherwise, getting my voice was my worst fear. How was I going to get my voice across? And that's how I cope.
Wonderful,
thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. I want to hear your thoughts as well.
Well, my biggest challenge was when I was very little. I was painfully shy. Wow. I didn't want to speak to people. I wanted to stay with my books all the time, just reading, watching documentary films. My mother would insist, go out, they are playing outside. Why are you cooped in inside? And I'd say, I don't want to play, I want to read. Because through reading, I could imagine, different worlds, learn about new cultures, and so on. I learned English
through reading and through watching documentary films, okay, and funny films, okay. So, sometimes, I would sit there, I would be laughing. My dad, would be saying, "What are you laughing about?" So I was very, very shy, and in the midst of a family that was not shy at all. Okay, so all the women were very strong. Okay, they were rambunctious, speaking all very loudly, and when I sat with them, sometimes in family gatherings, they would tell me, "You are like a chicken with the Bedouins," because chicken don't live with the Bedouins. It's the goats, and So I was strange. I was different. Okay, and people thought sometimes that I was stupid because I didn't want to participate. And I faced the same problem at school. I was excellent, very observant. I would get 50 out of 50, in every... but before I get the exam, I used to be, in trouble because the teacher comes, she sees me very quiet. Okay, she would think that I was stupid as well. Okay, and then I would wait for the test to come. I'd wait for or for a difficult question to come. Okay, because when they asked a difficult question, because of my readings, I was able to answer. Wow. Okay, and when the tests came, okay, I was able to excel. And then the teacher would come and say, "Who is this Rahman Mahrouqi? Who is this Rahman Mahrouqi?" and I was very, very tiny because I went to school, very early on, because I learned to read Quran and to read at a very, very early stage. Okay. And I lived, like I said, in a contradictory environment because there were very strong women, but somewhat, the men did not think of them as strong. But they were the driving force in our society. Okay, they mattered, and I could see that they handled the house. Okay, and that my father was out. Okay, and that they ran everything. I was told not to mix with boys. Okay, but then my surroundings were very safe because it was my community, my family. Okay, the whole place, a place in Adam called the Rahba. It was all Mahrouqis and all my family. So I was able to talk with boys, okay? So shy, but I was able to talk with boys, okay? And I was told, you are not as good as the boys, but then they couldn't achieve as much as I was able to achieve, okay? So lots of contradictory messages. And I had to figure out for myself a course of action, okay? And at school, of course, I became very well recognized at school because I had so many talents. But I was prevented from practicing my talents. Okay, I liked to write poetry. I was told this is not for you. Okay? So stop it. I used to like to sing. Not for you. Stop it. I used to like to paint. Okay, again, waste of time. Stop it. Design, and I used to tailor. I had a small machine, tailoring machine, and I used to try, not for you, stop it. So lots of things. So when will this stop? Okay, and I was determined. Okay, maybe, yeah, maybe through education, maybe through that's my passion, to read and to try to think. I had always liked to sit and read and then come up with my own theories. And then I would go and experiment. And I was a person of science, not art at all, because I loved science. And I used to go upstairs so that I wouldn't be noticed by anyone. And I would, put things together, concoctions, and then I would apply them on myself, okay, or drink them. And then my mom would be calling me, "What are you doing there?" And I said, I'm coming, okay. Thank God I didn't get any bruises. Okay. But then, when I finished high school, alhamdulillah, I was, one of the top 10, the top 10 in the, العشرة الأوائل من السلطنة. Okay, I wanted to go to the university. Okay, that was for me, just natural. But then the family was against it. Okay, go to a college, 2 years, and then get married. Okay, I said I'm not. I was still not that vocal. Okay, but I realized that I had to stand up for myself. Otherwise, my life would be dictated by others. Okay, so they were vocal, okay, with their opposition. I was silent but determined, because when I tried to rise up and I tried to fight back, they tried to push me down. Okay, so I said, okay, they can raise their voice as much as they want, and I can act silently, okay, as I want. And I went to the university, okay, and Sayyidah Taghreed, we weren't classmates, but Sayyidah Amar was my classmate. And it was a wonderful experience. And then I finished and I was hired at SQ as an administrator. And it was time for me to do my master's degree. Again, greater opposition. You are the first one in the family to do a master's degree. Why? مش يعني أحسن من خواتش اللي جلست ترجع في أدم مدرسة. Okay. Of course, I just could not listen to them. And even people, my family, who lived in Muscat, they refused to support me at first because they wanted to compel me, to stay at my hometown. So I didn't listen. And I grouped up with 2 other girls, and we lived together alone, the 3 girls, okay, through our master's degree. Okay, طبعا it was the first experience for 3 Omani women to live alone, apart from their families. كلام سكر. Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. That's really amazing. I have to wrap up if you don't mind.
Great. No
but
problem.
I'd like to ask one, and you will excuse me for 1 minute. I want to take one very short takeaway that we can share with the audience tonight. What's the big thing? What's the one thing that you would share with, one sentence about you as a woman going forward, given the challenges, the achievements you've had? What's the one thing that you would share with others? Maybe we start with you, Doctora.
Okay. I feel that, we shouldn't be driven. Our lives should be, under our control. We shouldn't be driven by others. Because what I wanted to say is that, also when I wanted to go to the USA to do my PhD, everybody, it was not only my family, it was the whole town that was against me. Okay. And, I insisted, and they said, we will not allow your husband or your children to go with you. I said, I will go. Okay. And in the very end, okay, I went. And I went with my husband because I threatened him. I told him, if you don't come with me, I will not come back to you. Okay. So he came.
Okay, that's clear then. Doctora?
Yeah. I think what I want to say is that please believe that whatever you're doing is making a difference. You are empowering somebody in one way or another. We might not be doing for many, but I'm sure you're affecting one person and moving them a step forward. And I'll just give an example because my niece, I was talking to my niece, and her sister was in the UK doing her PhD. And she said, oh, Auntie, Naima told me to tell you that you were her inspiration. That's why she went for her PhD. That melted me. So one can make a difference, even for one person.
Thank you.
So I'll try and wrap it up quickly. I do believe in one thing, and I've seen this throughout my life. I believe in the power of women, not just because I think recently we've heard women empowerment. I think it's been there all our life, actually. Women in my life, my grandmother was my greatest empowerment. She was this small, but she was so strong. My mom, she's always positive. I went to refugee camps. I noticed women who have lost everything. Yes. And I didn't go there just to give money or clothes. I was talking about PTSD. And I cannot forget this woman who told me, look, I know what's happened. I accept it. I just want you to tell me how to move forward. That's all I need. This is the day I said, look at this. Yes. She has nothing, but she thinks I want to move forward. And that's what I would like you to understand and to take with you. You can move forward if you want to move forward. If you don't want to, then you can find so many reasons.
Yes, so cool.
And I leave it to you guys. Life transforms every day. Keep yourself updated and connected to people. Do not live in a world by yourself. use the surroundings of your people, and Mr. Google is very smart also. Education, education, education.
Absolutely.
Reading. Fulfill your soul with whatever religion you believe in. And say thank you to people. It's very important to thank the people who got you where you are today and where they're going to get you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies, thank you so much. It's been, I mean, we could sit and talk for all evening. We won't. I'd like to leave you with one quote that I try and remember all the time. And it's actually a quote from Madeleine Albright, whatever you may think of Madeleine Albright. She's got a famous quote that says, there's a very special place in hell for women who don't look out for other women. So I think that's something we all need to be aware of. So I think we need to look out for each other. Inspiration comes from within, but inspiration also comes from around us. I definitely feel very inspired tonight by the panelists, by the people who've spoken, by our guest main speaker. Thank you all very much, and all the best for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, our panelists. I'd like to invite Professor Yusra to stay with me on stage for this. And thank you so much, our panelists. I feel so inspired being among such amazing people, which makes me realize how important events like this are, because we need to hear from each other. We need to hear these stories. So one of Oman's greatest achievements have been in the field of education. Oman has achieved 100% female enrollment in primary education and 96% female enrollment in secondary education. There are more women graduating from higher education institutions in Oman than men. That is amazing. Compared to the world, that's just incredible. We'd also like to introduce a competition that Muscat University has launched called Female Education in Oman, where they encourage people to submit videos about what they think female education in Oman looks like. And today we will be announcing the winner. So I would ask for your help to announce the winner. Yeah, sure.
Mike, yes, thank you. I just wanted to say a couple of words about the competition and how well the girls performed. Actually, it was open to the boys and the girls in the university, and we literally had 1 week to submit a video. That's within, normal class hours, exams, whatever. They work together in teams, and the idea was, what does it mean for you to be, Oman for her, a woman, being a woman, education for a woman. And we were, it was so difficult to choose the winner. We had a number of submissions, and we chose the winner on Oman Women's Day last week. And we're going to, air it today, and then we'll ask them to come up.
Okay.
So shall we put the video on? Is that what we're doing? Yeah. Okay, thank you.
تصفحناك أيتها المرأة العمانية، فأبحرنا في طيات أعماقك ماضيا وحاضرا، فتاريخك أثبت بأنك صامدة وطموحة نحو التعليم والعمل. ساهمت بدعم الوطن ماضيا بأقل إمكانيات دون استسلام، وبدعم من رجل السلام والعدل الذي حقق لنا المساواة وفتح لنا آفاق التعلم لنشق طريقنا نحو التطوير.
لقد أولينا منذ بداية هذا العهد اهتمامنا الكامل لمشاركة المرأة العمانية في مسيرة النهضة المباركة، ووفرنا لها فرص التعليم والتدريب والتوظيف، ودعمنا دورها ومكانتها في المجتمع، وأكدنا على ضرورة إسهامها في شتى مجالات التنمية.
We'd now like to invite the winners of the video submission to come up on stage. Please welcome. You can see there.
Can we have Muzna أولاد ثاني, فاطمة البلوشي, نشوى السليماني, أفراح المسكري, and Firas Al-Hamdi.
Yeah. Do you want to ask? Can I have the mic to get?
Don't be shy.
Take your time. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on winning the competition. How do you guys feel that you won the competition?
You can start. It was a great experience working together with our colleagues to get into a great work. Of course, we feel so happy and proud as we're women, and we managed to make we captured a short movie which shows the women in the past and the present till after the revolution.
How did you come up with the idea?
The reason we create this video is to show that Omani women are capable of making a great strides in education and work to develop to make a comprehensive development to the country. And now she is successful in achieving her goals under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, and that's why we try to show it in our video.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Please give them another round of applause. Thank you guys. Now back to speakers. صفقولة.
Okay. No, it wasn't a bad experience. I'm the only guy in a team of 11 girls. Okay. They're all up there. Okay. It's the first time I submit a movie to a big audience like this, and it's my pleasure to stand here and achieve this, me and my team together. Thank you.
This is a perfect leeway because our next speaker is actually the youngest speaker we're having today. She's a grade 12 student of humanities. She's a TEDx student speaker and has written several articles for her school newsletter. She's a poet, not a translator, and seeks to find meaning in the smallest of stories sitting across from her. Please welcome Dia Isha.
Hi. Okay, finally, everyone can hear me. So I'm going to start off with a story. I hope none of you mind. So during a long, hectic day in school, my psychology teacher asked our class to make a checklist of 10 goals on the back of our notebooks. The girl beside me rushed her way through goals in a matter of minutes. A boy, 5 seats away, stared at the empty page with the afternoon football match in his mind. Through the corner of my eye, I saw my friend write, "Love myself," on her list as I jotted down goals of my own. Among other objectives, get into XYZ college, read 100 books in 2018, and learn how to cycle, attired my list. Forward 7 months into the script of my life. The workbooks for the entrance exam of XYZ college reside at the back of a cupboard that I don't bother to open. I still have around 35 more books to read, and cycling? Let's not even talk about it. Instead, let's talk about how I wished the goal "love myself" was on my list too. I know this idea is weaved into my words, actions, and promises of self-empowerment, tucked in the paragraphs of journals and college applications, wedged between the narrow spaces of opportunities. Dawned on me when I share with someone an idea he or she hadn't come across. Self-love is a dress placed at the edge of my wardrobe railing. The dress I'm too scared to put on and stand in front of a mirror because audacity is a noun that I couldn't place before my actions. However, 4% of the female population choose to wear this dress. They adorn the framework of expectations attached to their gender and wrestle everything that strangles their growth, reminding us that women are more than mothers, daughters, and wives. They're creators, lawyers, designers, entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers, and more. We're privileged to understand and accept this, but I cannot say the same about the girl living 5,251 kilometers away in the state of Niger, Africa. At the age of 13, she's a victim of child marriage, and schooling is a dream quite far out of her reach. I cannot say the same about 71.5% of the educated yet unemployed women in India who are stuck in the realm of societal expectations. They set a limit on the age within which she should be married off. They set an expiry date on her dreams. I cannot say the same about 8-year-old Asfa from Jammu who couldn't comprehend what happened to her before she died. My words fail to encompass the tragedy of her story. The second wave of the Me Too movement has hit the shores of my country. Tweets, truths about assault, violation, harassment, and other atrocities trickle down Twitter feeds day by day. You're not the only one, because it's me too. And you do not have to hide behind the shadows of fear, because time's up. Large-scale movements like these accumulate $20 million as legal defense funds, with more than 200 lawyers stepping in as volunteers. Side note, not all men. When we jeopardize men by saying that and blame them and tell them that they're the reason why we all are the victims, we forget that there are some men who gather up enough courage to speak up. But then our ears continue to fall deaf to his cries. This is the reason why 1 in 71 male victims only report experiencing assault. We forget that assault isn't attached to a pronoun, an identity, an industry, a name, or a religion. However, the silver lining is a future curated by women and men rooted in the ideas of equality and empowerment. These are the ideas because of which a 17-year-old girl from India has been given the opportunity to address a room packed with powerful, passionate individuals. Ideas that assert feminism as an instrument to help empower the voice a woman already has, not to help her find one. Ideas that urge countries to return the rights stolen from the identities of their female citizens. These are the ideas that enfranchised all American women in 1921. Ideas that motivated the women of Iceland to demand for equal pay, and the same ideas because of which it is one of the 8 countries that provide paternity leave. Ideas that unfastened the 12% taxes imposed on feminine hygiene products in India. Ideas because of which we now see women racing cars through the streets of Saudi Arabia. Ideas that place Rwanda's pay gap at 86 cents on the dollar. These ideas perceive freedom of speech as not a privilege but a right. These ideas, in social activist Trisha Shetty's words, will not settle for anything less than equality, justice, freedom, and peace. I too have an idea that I framed in the works of a letter to my future self. Dear Dia, you're 27 years old now, and I hope your mother isn't calling you at 10 p.m. to ensure you've reached home safe. I hope at 27, you're brave enough, or rather safe enough, to book the Uber pool back home. I hope your partner doesn't casually indulge in sexism, and I hope he's granted paternity leave. I hope your country has criminalized marital rape, because right now it's okay for a spouse to defile their partner's body without his or her consent. Right now, 60% of the world's chronically hungry people are women and girls. They make up more than 2/3 of the world's illiterate population. Statistically, I am privileged to write a letter to my future self and to speak in a language that only 20% of the world can comprehend. But you're in 2028, so I assume this percentage has walked towards the 60s range. But right now, the female literacy rate is 79.7%. But history textbooks still fail to inscribe women into their pages. They do not acknowledge women inventors. They forget about Ada Lovelace, the world's first computer programmer, and about Hedy Lamarr, the woman who set the groundwork for the invention of Wi-Fi. But I hope in 2028, we can rattle off names of women in power in seconds. I hope in 2028, legislation has changed, because right now, 49 countries have no laws protecting women from domestic violence. I hope at 27, you've embraced your femininity. I hope at 27, you stand tall on your feet and say the words, "I'm a feminist," without inhibition, without justification. I hope at 27 you can travel the world alone with a backpack on your shoulders minus the pepper spray bottle. I hope at 27 you've learned to wear the dress you placed at the edge of your wardrobe railing when you were 13. I hope at 27 you've stopped trying to fit the mold the society has prescribed for your sex. I hope at 27 you love yourself just the way you are. All the love, Dia. Thank you.
You're amazing. I don't know what to say after that. Dia, you're amazing. You give me so much hope for the future. Thank you. This is our young generation, people. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. What you guys don't know about Dia, even though she's our youngest speaker, she still writes actual letters, and posts them. You're the iPad generation. You're supposed to know how to email when you're born. Our next speaker is the founder and managing director of MCO Group of Companies. She's a leading interior designer, event organizer, and corporate communication specialist, all rolled into one. What can we learn from a young entrepreneur like her? She says, if there is anything to learn from me, it is that patience and tenacity pays off. Never give up on your goals and always keep in mind that it will not happen overnight. Give a round of applause for the amazing Maha El-Lemki.
Can you hear me? Is it on? No? All right, should I remove this? Okay. Does the mic work?
Hello. Yes.
The mic work. Okay, excellent.
Take your time. Will you be all right with the clicker in the hand?
Yes, I should be fine. Thank you. So I had written something in my head to start off today, but after hearing these inspirational stories from the women, it's made it much easier for what I had prepared, because it's about women in decision making. I think we all heard these amazing panelists, speakers. There was a process of how we reach our decision making. So first, I would like to say thank you, as all of you have said as well, to His Majesty for really giving us this amazing day for women that brings us to a day like this with the Omani Women's Summit. Women in Oman present 47% in the workforce. But how many of this percentage are in the leadership position? Managerial positions, board of directors positions, these numbers are dismal. And not only here in Oman, I think we all agree, it's all around the world. But as Basma said, is it important? There is something that makes a difference between us women and men in making decision making. Why do we have this glass ceiling? Why is there this invisible barrier that we don't see, but we feel it when it comes to decision-making between men and women? Let me ask you, and I think you all heard the difference with the doctora's example. How many of you in the workplace have been told when you come and make a decision, you've been questioned about it? And when men make the decision, the same one you did as a woman, he's not questioned. There is a difficult there is a physical difference between the way men reach their conclusion to their decision or women. Women use both sides of their brain. Yeah. And men predominantly use only their left side of their brain. It's not a bad thing. I see the gentleman laughing here. It's not a wrong thing. There is a physical, really, difference between the way we make our decisions. But it shows, and studies shows, that when you have a female woman, she was always going to collaborate. She's always going to ask her peers about advice. But it's seen as a weakness rather than a strength. But men and women together, the decisions are always much, much better. I think I left my glasses down. I'm trying to see. Now, I always think how blessed I am. I'm the youngest. It's all right. I'm the youngest out of 5 siblings. I was brought up with amazing parents, my father and mother, and my father's sister is here, my aunt. We had an amazing upbringing. My mother was my role model. My mother had 14 siblings. She was the oldest girl. Her parents died when they were very young, and she brought up her siblings and made sure they had an education. She taught them the value of family. We had lunch together always for 30 years till she passed away. And she had her own milestone. She was the first woman cabinet. She created a scholarship fund when she was living in the Kuwait in the 60s, bringing students to the university. And she was one of the first founders of the Omani Women Association in the 70s. I've always had a passion for art. Everybody who knows me knows it was about art, it was about painting, it was creating space, rooms, designing. I went to college in the UK to study art and design. But I got married at the age of 21. Hence, I didn't get my degree. But I got married and had 2 wonderful children, which my ex-husband then did provide for us. But in 2010, I found myself single and alone. I had no college degree. How am I going to fend for myself? My 2 children were my biggest encouragement. They said, "Mom, you have a talent. Use that talent and turn it into a profession." Now, I had a very small budget, and I'm dyslexic. Dyslexic people take forever to read. I had no time to go back to college to learn how to start my own business. So what I did, I got audiobooks, and I taught myself by listening in the car constantly. And I did just that. I opened my first company, an event company called M Events. I had no clue about business. It was a learning process, day in, day out, lots of tears. There was no time for failure. There was no time for sulking. I had to see each failure as a step forward. I had to take the attitude of the glass half full rather than the glass half empty. And you know what they say about failure? 9 out of 10 times you fail. So I learned to decide what kind of events am I going to do. Am I going to do corporate events? Am I going to do personal events? How much I'm going to charge? who's going to help me, all these things, what prices people are ready to pay, the market. So I did just that. I learned, I made mistakes, but I moved forward. When I was doing events, I realized events alone, like this events, for example, today we're here, I used to do these kind of events. There was always artwork, graphic work design needed, like the backdrop of the stage, all the different elements that you see. Constantly, I was working with media companies. I was constantly out, and in the end, I wasn't very happy with what I was getting. The quality wasn't what I wanted. My vision was not being met. So the decision was made, and I opened. Oops, wrong slide. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. This is a picture of a car of one of the events I did. One of my earliest events was in Sahar. It was a tent for 500 people for Ramadan. I knew it took 4 days to put this tent up. I'll be standing in Ramadan while fasting outside in the sun 4 days before the ACs were put in this tent. On my way there, 7 in the morning, my car broke down. I came out of the car. The car tire was not only punctured, it had this, the whole rubber was cut. It was like a snake. I've never seen anything like it. Now, this decision that I had to make was not a business decision. This was more of a social, our culture. Who am I going to call? I'm 2 hours away from town. I'm in Sahar. I have another 20 minutes to reach my location. The only person I had was the Omani man that I rented the tent from. Now, am I going to call this Omani man at 7 in the morning, knowing that Ramadan, they're up all night? It took me 15 minutes to really dial his number. But eventually he came, took me, and I finished my event. So, doing events, then the second year I decided I'm going to open my passion, which was interior design. I took another location. I had 2 Omani interior designers that I employed to help me out, and we started doing amazing projects that people were very happy with. But we had the economic downturn that year. It was very difficult having one location with one company and another location with another company. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have much money. The companies were not making that much. As you're learning, I'm still learning about the business. Then I got the idea. I'm going to have an administrative company. This administrative company is going to save me money. It's going to rent the space. I'm going to have both companies under one roof. I'm going to save on internet bundles. I'm going to save on computers. I'm going to save on receptionists. I'm going to save on anything, and I'll be okay. And that's exactly what we did. After opening EMCO and feeling safe and secure now from the finance side of things, I realized with the media, with all the work we were doing with the media work, that I needed to open my own media company to do all the events. So I opened M Media. I brought in the professional. It's a digital marketing and branding company. I brought professional. The one thing that I learned when I heard the audiobooks was Warren Buffett said, put the right person in the right place. So if I don't know it, I'm going to bring somebody in that knows it, and I will learn from them. After having the media put in place and happy with it, I saw that M Events was struggling. Now remember, this is the same year with the economic downturn. The market was full of event companies. Out of 60 tenders that I worked on, I would get 1 job. What am I going to do? I'm not going to fail. So I decided I'm going to change the event company, and I'm going to be doing most of the companies that the other event companies are doing by having Desert River event rental. So now I don't have to go into tenders, but I know all the event companies will be coming to me to rent out the furniture. And that's exactly what I did. So all our furniture was high-end European furniture, and always gave you that wow effect, in my opinion. At this time, I've been in business for quite a while. Everywhere I went, I heard the same thing over and over again. Everybody wanted tailor-made, custom-made, exclusive events, whatever it is. And at that time, we would hear and read in the newspaper and on the news, on the TV, that Oman needs to find ways to diversify. How are we going to diversify? From the oil to something else? So it clicked in my mind. The next sector is tourism. Knowing our amazing Oman with its amazing terrain, knowing that Oman is one of the 3 countries in the world for the best caving, knowing that Oman is the #1 place, Masira Island, for kite surfing. We have somebody here who does kite surfing. We have an amazing opportunity to start an extreme adventure tourism. But what was important for me, that I wanted an international standard. We're going to make sure that safety are international standard. We're going to make sure that our guides are highly qualified and certified. Even our Omani who came in, they didn't have certification, but we send them to the UK and we send them to Dubai, and they got their certification, and we're so proud of them, and they're enjoying it and loving what they're doing. So we did caving, we did via ferrata, we did abseiling, and the best part is, in a little way, I know I'm helping in our economy, because people are flying in to come to our trips with 23 Extreme. So now what's next? My husband would say, Maha, hold your horses. My motto has always been, nothing is impossible. Truly nothing is impossible. There is a process for me in decision making. And one of the most important factors in the decision making is taking people's advice, listening to people, not for them to make the decision for me, but for them to encourage me and for me to be able to guide myself in making the right decision. And people who truly let me know that no dream is impossible. 2 people in my life that I have to thank. Who have been from the beginning in my journey is my best friend, Safa Al-Hashim, and my dear husband, Yasser Al-Zijjali. Truly, they have been a rock, and this is what everybody needs. They both were from the business world. I never was. I entered into the business world at the age of 41. So their advice really got me to where I am today. What's next? My own brand of furniture and a hub for young Omani talent that we're waiting to create an Omani concept for art. This is my inspiration. His Majesty's saying, to exclude women from playing a meaningful role in the life of their country is in essence amounted, in essence, to exclude half the country's potential. So let's celebrate the differences of women and men decision making and let's collaborate and make a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Maha. That was amazing. I have a suggestion on what's next. What you guys don't know about Maha is that she's extremely scared of lizards. So maybe since you overcame all your other fears, this is your next one. Our next speaker, I don't even know where to begin to start. She's also our last speaker before our panel discussion. She spent over a decade in the corporate world and then suddenly decides to go into a different path. She's here to tell us her journey of being human. Please welcome Asma Mustafa.
So it's working now? Okay, good. Thank you. May I have the clicker? Thank you. سعد مساكم جميعاً. It's funny that I was telling the ladies yesterday not to panic and just be yourself, and I'm the one who's panicking tonight. So I'm just choosing to open up tonight and trusting you and sharing my stories and scars with you, knowing that you are the essence of my stories, because we all have emotions that we usually run away from and we try to suppress in our life instead of processing them. So I've been going through this life-altering exercise this year of allowing myself to be fully seen and reclaiming the parts that I have always orphaned in my life. Last year, in 2017, specifically in July, my entire security system got smashed at the same time. Three things that we usually get our sense of significance from in life as humans and specifically as women. The father, the life partner, and career all got hit very hard. Just to bring some context to what I'm sharing with you tonight, I was born in Kuwait. It's very, very precious to me. To Palestinian parents who are coming from a very simple background, thank you. Thank you. I mean, they hardly finished their 4th and their 2nd grades, and they were doing their best to provide quality education and life for us. My mom would go to her neighbor to learn the pronunciation of words in English, write them down in Arabic, and come back home and teach them to us. During the Gulf War, they lost everything. They went back to Palestine, 8 kids with less than 800 Kuwaiti dinars. So we had the social challenge to go through because people would always refer to us, those who came back from Kuwait, those who have been abroad. You're never one of them. And of course, we had the financial challenge. I do remember we had to keep our kitchen tools in a tent for almost a year. I mean, it was neat, it was clean, but it was also harsh. So as a family, of course, my mom stepped in and she embraced us. And my eldest sister sponsored the education of my brother and so on. And this is how we managed it. Myself, I was among the top 10 in Palestine for the high school. And I know that people are not defined by their grades, but by their potential. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And I wanted to cheer my mom up. So alhamdulillah, I got scholarship for the BA. And I rushed through because I wanted to travel and explore the world. And I managed to get a good GPA that would qualify me for the MBA because, again, I wanted to get the MBA from the UK because my mom always wanted someone to be graduated from the UK. So I told her, the certificate and the qualification for you, the experience is for me. So to me, as a family, we managed it. We managed the challenge after the Gulf War. I wanted to prove to myself, would I be able to get through and manage life on my own when I'm completely away from the family? So I went to the UK and I got scholarship for one of the top 4 business schools. In 2009, I got there and of course I got lost for almost 8 weeks. I was trying to relate to the environment and coming from a tiny village in Palestine and then getting exposed to a very demanding, vibrant environment, and people are coming from more interesting backgrounds than me. I was questioning the worthiness of my story. What do I have to share with them? And I reached a point where I wanted to drop out. I was like, this is too much for me. I want to أجيب البكجة and go back home. But then I reminded myself why I was there at the first place. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to put myself out there so people can meet me halfway through and then see how it feels. And of course, it's not like an overnight kind of a flip in the mindset. I started to gradually build up discussions with people and I started to enjoy it. And then alhamdulillah, I managed to get through all the modules and I passed. And I came to know that I was nominated for Women of the Future Award in the UK. And I got shortlisted and then acknowledged at the UK level with other 3 ladies. What was important, not the award itself, it's the recognition of me owning my own story. This is the first thing, and power of empathy. I mean, when you build empathy for yourself, you have better understanding of yourself. When you build empathy for others, you can listen to them attentively and you can learn from them. So it's like the most selfish thing, to be honest, to have empathy for your others and even for yourself. And then I went back to Palestine, joined consultancy industry. And I moved with them again back to Kuwait because I wanted to create my own memories with Kuwait. And last year I resigned for 2 reasons. I wanted to go back home and take care of my parents, touch them, have a cup of coffee with them, because we sometimes tend to forget that this is the essence of life. And I also wanted to invest in switching to the mindset of establishing a family, which is something equally rewarding because I was engaged at that time. In a span of 2 weeks, I resigned. So given that I'm a very independent person, since the age of 18, I've been looking after myself, I've been looking after my parents lovingly. I was letting go of a source of security in my life. And then my father fell seriously sick. Now, alhamdulillah, he's super fine. I mean, he's a farmer, he's a shepherd. I climbed up mountains with him, herding proudly. And this connection with the earth would always help us and cure us from the diseases that we sometimes experience in life. So alhamdulillah, now he's super fine. And then so unexpectedly, I broke up with my fiancé. So like the 3 sources of security in my life got smashed at the same time. I had very intense pain and I wanted to escape my body. I had 2 options. Either to suppress my emotions and go back to my, former life, or try to examine my emotions and how I felt and what was behind it and why I was so emotionally hooked. So, of course, I chose to invest in understanding my emotions, and I went to Georgia, the country, to the mountains to hike the pain away. And I wrote lots of letters, of course, describing my emotions. Writing is very powerful. It helps us to understand the intensity of our emotions and sometimes the stories that we make up ourselves about ourselves and about others. And I started to build empathy for myself. It's like, it's okay, Asma, let your body experience the pain. You can't get over it. You need to get through it. And of course, I built empathy for the other people who were engaged in the situation. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to put my life on hold. I'm going to move into life with my confusion and pain so I can still experience joy. I can still feel alive, which I've been doing since last year. And this has given me some lightness in the heart to move forward in life. I've become very minimalist, and this has given me, of course, I'm so dressed up for you tonight, but I mean, it has given me lots of space in the heart and the brain to focus on who and what matters. And this is where actually Zaha evolved. Zaha is a social enterprise that we have started in January this year. It's a journey of a cultural movement through which we reshape the way we relate to each other. I have no interest to force people to change the way they think of others. I just want to offer a structured outlet through which people can get exposed to engaging knowledge and insights about cultures. So we do so by offering immersive cultural experiences in a sensible context. But we focus on the intangible heritage of cultures. We focus on human and emotional aspects of the cultures. I want to understand the cultures through its people, and their feelings and how they built this, how they grew that. So the kind of aspects we focus on is the storytelling, the untold stories, the efforts of the people behind traditional food, the traditional arts and crafts. I see Zaha as a solution for places where people experience cultural isolation. It could be the big cosmopolitan cities, where people get so absorbed into earning a living and they hardly bond and learn from each other, or refugee communities. For refugees, we empower them to become our experience leaders. So they are empowered financially, they offer those cultural experiences and this engaging knowledge about their cultures to locals. So this can replace the cultural misconception and would enhance the community cohesion and the integration of refugees into the communities they're living in. This is like snapshots of the experiences that we actually conduct. And this is Zaha in reality. Zaha هي ستي. She's 94 plus year old. Thank you. And this is a very recent photo of her. She's something, this lady. She's known in the village for her emotional and physical resilience. And she reminds me of this universe, how it's pretty, sophisticated, full of life, and worth of being explored with its different cultures. And Zaha, as you know, Zaha Yazho in Arabic is the growth journey. And what we're doing in Zaha by bringing people from different cultures and backgrounds, we could only think of the growth that would result from this kind of activity. Zaha to me is the outlet through which I'm bringing my whole being to the table. It has transformed the way I bond with people. I no longer ask people when I meet them for the first time, what's your name, where you're coming from, and I still find so many ways to relate to them and to relate to their stories. It reminds me that we humans can be tough and tender and can be at zero distance from our fears and still feel strong. We're all of that all the time. And my call to you tonight, and myself, of course, included, that whenever we lose the sight, we just return to our hearts, try to embrace who we are, and try to own our stories, and most importantly, allow ourselves to unfold. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing. What you guys don't know about Esma is that she used to be in a dance troupe. You need to teach me some of your moves because I'm a bad dancer, so I don't know exactly. Men are trash. Did you guys hear that? Men are trash. Have you heard of that saying? Men are trash. I hate it. I hate it. It's so vague. What does it mean, men are trash? What does it mean? Okay, men smell like trash sometimes, but we shouldn't generalize. We shouldn't generalize. I love that we celebrate Omani Women's Day. I think it's amazing. But one thing that really frustrates me is that sometimes when we say Omani Women's Day, it's like we're saying Women Only Day. Like there's selective hearing there. Why do we exclude 50% of the population from these conversations? Women are engaged in every conversation you can hear about in this country. So why in this issue, sorry, oh my God, that's so loud. So why when it comes to this issue, we're excluding men? I don't know if we're excluding them or they feel excluded. If you look at the audience here, with one hand, I can see how many men there are in the audience. And honestly, I'm very happy to see men in the audience. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you. We need more men. We need more men. We can't do this alone. We need to work together in order to achieve what we really want. If we're engaged in issues concerning the whole population, they should be engaged in our issues as well. That's just what I wanted to say. But now we're going to move to our last panel discussion, and that will be the end of it. We will wrap it up. To introduce the moderator of this discussion, she is an academic researcher in the field of urban psychology with a master's degree in architecture and town planning. She's currently pursuing a PhD in cultural geography to shed light on the lives of Indian immigrants in the Gulf region. She's currently working as a consultant in geotech, and she is also a dear friend of mine. Please welcome Aisha Farouk.
thing on? Okay. So, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. What a fantastic event. Wonderful speakers, so inspiring, and a great audience. I've just been told by the organizers that we're running half an hour late. So, I've got to cut my segment into less than half. So, nothing better than more pressure when you're already nervous. Thank you. We'll keep it as short as possible. Okay, I'll introduce the panelists then. Come on, girls, let's go. We haven't got time. So we've got Layla Sahrab, also known as DJ Lail. We've got Dalal Darwish, Lujaina Al-Kharousi, and Anisa Raisi. Welcome, girls. So I'm going to give you a quick bio of this wonderful lineup that we have here today. Everything is going to be quick today. Forget everything I told you on the phone. We're doing rapid fire round. Yeah, I briefed them that we should have a very personal talk and we should keep it intimate and scratch that. We're having a rapid fire, okay? So we got Lujaina Al-Kharousi. She's got 13 years of experience as an economist. She's founded 2 businesses in retail and services. She is the CEO and founder at Envago. So Envago is an online platform that allows users to use smartphones to provide better services for the adventure world. And it is the first social commerce marketplace for booking adventure and travel experiences in the MENA region. Thank you for joining us, Lujaina. We've got Layla Sahrab, who I'm totally fangirling over, also known as DJ Lail. She's the first female DJ in the Arabian Gulf. And she started, she started back in 1999, which means she's been in the industry for about 20 years. She's done all different types of events and worked with a lot of famous people. She's performed in Bahrain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, all around the region, as well as Paris and Italy. And the list goes on, but we gotta keep it short. And she's the first to have organized various successful ladies' night parties in Bahrain. Thank you for being here, and bring ladies' night parties to Oman, please. Okay. We've got Dalal Darwish. She has over 10 years of experience in social research and stakeholder engagement. Through her life journey, she found herself in Greece, volunteering for a year long. She received an award for this. It was the Oman Women of the Year Award for International Achievement. Currently, Dalal is working in DIRA International. So DIRA International is a space that offers workshops and retreats to allow individuals to connect with themselves and realize that their being is limitless. So, welcome everyone. So nice to have you here. Like I said, rapid fire. So we're not gonna go into how did you start and where did you know? We're gonna go straight through. Would you like to start, Anisa? You have something to say?
No, I think you just forgot to introduce me. Rapid fire, rapid fire.
You guys, you cannot put me under this much pressure. You see, okay, I found it. Found it, Anisa Raisi, Business Development Manager and Instructor at Outward Bound Oman. Outward Bound is an international network of outdoor education schools that was found in the UK. She works mainly with people in the outdoors and puts them in challenging situations, like I have been put today. Not the same, but in April earlier this year, she decided to put herself to the challenge and joined an unguided expedition to the North Pole with a team of women from Europe and the Middle East. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so sorry I forgot. Yeah. So the first question that I had for you was your starting point, because we've seen so many women up here, absolutely beautiful, one more beautiful than the other. You've got the spotlight, and you often get called to speak at events, and then you've got people in the audience. We don't have so much engagement with the audience, and they're in a completely different place in their life. I see a lot of young girls, probably in school, and they might be wondering where you started out. So maybe Leila, you want to tell us? I mean, you started out in the 90s, and that was a tough time because you not only didn't have encouragement from society, but you also didn't have Google.
It was really very difficult.
Yeah.
Wow. Difficult. And when I started, there was no, like, internet was just introduced.
Yeah.
So it was difficult to download music. The technology was really very bad then because I started off with cassettes. I used to play for family and friends, and I wasn't really known. So it was a difficulty for me to face in order to get known, to get out there. So that was the main thing. That was the main difficulty.
So how did you start to get known?
Oh yes, and it was a male-dominated field. It was really difficult. I didn't have any females to look up to, so.
So what made you choose DJing? I mean, you're in the 90s.
It was a passion. When you love something, you just go for it. I really love DJing. It wasn't that I haven't received my degree. I have finished my education. I have worked in several, like during my life, I've worked in several really very amazing jobs in banks and accounting firms and in a half governmental entity. But like I have reached a really very amazing. Like I have reached very amazing titles to very amazing titles and positions. However, I gave that up, but because this was my main passion, this was the main thing that I have really wanted to go through.
And so would you say your starting point was something sudden? I mean, what was it like? Were you a teenager sitting in your room and listening to a really good record and you were like, I want to do that? Or what was it? What was
That's
that?
exactly what happened. I really had so much passion for music that you can't imagine. I used to listen to the radio and record music off the radio, and then that's it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to grow up and become a DJ. I had so much passion to like play loud music. That's what I had.
Okay. And I know from Dilal, we talked on the phone, and I asked you what your turning point was, if it was sudden. Because for some people, it's really gradual. I mean, you have an interest and it kind of grows in your mind like a seed. And then for some people, it's like, nope, I quit, I'm doing something else. And when I spoke to you on the phone, Dilal, you said, and I quote, she said, there was something that nudged my soul. So tell us a little bit about where you were when you received this little nudge and what changed after the nudge.
Well, I was working for a corporation, and I was doing that for very many years before that, and I found myself going into a mode of autopilot. I'd drive to work, I'd go home. There was nothing more in my life that was driving me, and unfortunately, my thoughts, my mental body really took over, and all of these little limiting beliefs started to grow. Oh, you can't change jobs. You're good at your field, so why are you going to do something new? You can't do that. You can't travel abroad. You can't work abroad. I had responsibilities. I got to be here. I got to be here for my family, etc. And these beliefs started to invade my mental space, and I did start to spiral down into a bit of a depression. And even Dr. Basma here was part of a witness to that part of my life. And in a matter of a few days, I had already taken another 3 months off unpaid leave off of work because I needed to just have my own space and deal with this dark cloud I was in. And I had a sign. And the first thing I got to say was, when you see a sign, see the sign. Let your soul really, really recognize that this is your turning point. And I got a message from a friend saying she's volunteering in Greece. She was actually Greek. And I should go there. And when God wants you to do something, God paves the way so easily, so smoothly. So what happened was I checked 2 days after she told me, Yalla, let's go, come on. I checked my passport. Oh, I've got a Schengen visa, valid. I've got a bit of cash in my account, great. I've got no responsibilities, no loose ends to tie. That means I can go. And I went, and I found myself on this journey. I say it all the time, it was a selfish and selfless act. I went there not knowing what I was going to be doing, without expectations, But it was that turning point when my soul said, what am I doing here? I'm stuck in this spiral. I'm stuck in this job. I'm stuck in this space. And I just left everything. I left my job, my family, and everything. And it's that leap of faith, blind expectations, nothing to see on the other side. That is what opens up opportunities for you. And I ended up finding my calling, even if that calling was for a particular amount of time. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else.
Okay. So for you, it was a combination of things. Then it was your mental health, which had completely changed, and it was a sign. But your sign was in the form of an invitation, and you said yes to that invitation.
That's right, just say yes.
Okay. Piece of advice: don't say yes to everything, though. There's some things you should say no to. But when it's an invitation for a good humanitarian cause, it's a good thing to say yes. What about you, Anisa? How did you find yourself in the North Pole? Something that I'd like to add, I had to stalk you, obviously, before doing this. So I went through a lot of your interviews, and I was so humbled to see in a lot of your interviews you always say, I'm just like you. I'm just an ordinary girl who ended up doing something extraordinary. I also know that you do CrossFit, so I know you're nothing like me. But I would like to know, how does an ordinary girl end up in the North Pole with a bunch of other ordinary women?
I think it's exactly like Dalal said, say yes to everything. So my story is 4 years ago, I used to be in sales and marketing, like you, in a job for a very long time. And something I was very good at, but I didn't find the passion in it. I think I just felt like I could do more from a very young age. This is going to sound cliche. I felt like I could do more for the world or give more, but I was never sure what exactly. 4 years ago, I made a leap of faith, dropped everything that I had, literally, packed my bags, put it all in a 70-liter backpack, sold everything that I had over here, and decided to go on to one of those yes man trips around Europe, in this case. Just say yes to anything that comes my way. I collected some money while I was working the job that I was, and so I was in the position to be able to say yes to everything. It wasn't too bad, because from that I discovered that all of the things that I said yes to, all of the things that I really enjoyed doing on this journey, were things that put me in challenging situations, things that scared me. I was afraid of heights, so I climbed. I was afraid of speed, and so I went downhill on mountain bikes, It was all those things that I wasn't comfortable doing that I did. And so that was, I think, the turning point for me, because I realized that this is something I want to do for a living. And that's when I joined Outward Bound. And that was a turning point, because I then started putting other people into challenging situations. That's what we do in Outward Bound. And from that, watch them grow. When I was working in Outward Bound, I got the opportunity, I got asked if I wanted to join a team to go to the North Pole. Little did I know, there were 1,000 other people who were asked the same question. And so I was up against a lot of competition over there. But really, speaking about turning points, I think that was it for me. Taking the leap of faith, saying yes to something you're not comfortable with and you're not even sure about, but you never know until you take that jump.
Before we move to the next panelist, I want to ask you, are you by character a brave person? Or can anyone say yes to the things that, if heights scare you, yeah, I'm going to do bungee jumping, because I'm the opposite. I would just say no. So,
you know what my family
do you have
says?
to be brave by character, or is there a technique to facing these things?
I don't know. There's a fine line between brave and stupidity. I'm not sure which one I am. My family always says it's very fine. Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm there. The effect is people think I'm courageous, so that's great.
Fantastic. Thank you. Lejana, You have referred to yourself in an interview as a serial entrepreneur. So before Envago, you've set up a baby boutique and an antenatal service center. The first two businesses, I mean, it's kind of obvious where you could gain the inspiration and the knowledge from, as you're a mother of 4 wonderful kids yourself. But tell us a little bit about what desires inspired you to create an online platform for adventure seeking.
Yeah, this came a bit later. I started in retail business to start with, and it was because of the need. Having 4 kids, I saw there's a gap in market, and it was easier, you know. So I started with that. And at that time, I had a full-time job. I had 4 kids and a husband, and a business. So it was very hard to manage all of this. It was really overwhelming. And at a stage where I thought it was really difficult, I decided to, between a job or a business, I had to let go of one. Yeah. At that time, I decided to let go of my business, the retail. Mm-hmm. It was just too overwhelming for me. An opportunity came where I partnered with somebody, and she took over the retail business. And I went home to my husband. I said, I'm done. I'm just going to focus on kids and my job, and that's it. And he was very happy. Less than 6 months later, I go back and I say, guess what? I'm starting something else. And it was something I also wanted to do, which is an antenatal center, providing mothers, with the support, not only the medical part, but, the emotional support and the advice. So myself, my sister, and a friend, we started the antenatal business. And it was a challenging one, because you go to the government, to the Ministry of Health, and try to explain to them what you want to do, and nothing in the regulation supports what we wanted to do. So it was a bit challenging, and it took time. On top of that, I decided to enter the tech world. No experience in coding, no experience in technical side, but I was just fascinated by all these tech companies and what they're doing and the value they're creating in markets. Companies like Alibaba, Uber, Airbnb, and all of this. I just see myself starting this, this adventure, and I chose a market where I felt close to the need in Oman, which is the tourism. We have such a beautiful country full of, amazing potentials. And during my travels, whenever I tell people I'm from Oman, I have to always describe Oman next to Dubai. So that was really sad, And so for me, I wanted to do something that I can promote Oman, promote the tourism. So I decided to combine tech industry with the tourism, and that's how I started Envago.
Fantastic. A theme that I see in all of your stories is this balance between I'm in a day job and my passion is different. And I really want to talk about this because I'm sure there's people in the audience that have similar stories. I already know on the top of my head at least 5 of my friends that are working in the bank or working in insurance and dreaming about doing something else. So oftentimes you have to start it on the side, and then you're doing both things at the same time. Sometimes you can quit. So is there an equation to it? Is there some kind of, can you give our audience a little tip on when do you know it's time to quit and when should you balance? Who wants to go first? Leila or Anissa?
A quick sentence, a quick one. I used to wake up in the morning, every morning, when I worked the job that I thought I was doing good at, but wasn't really happy. And I remember getting up, getting all dressed up, looking myself in the mirror, I had this long mirror, and I look straight in the eyes and I say, and now the show begins. That's not how you should live your life. You should not live your life waking up every morning and saying, right, now we start the act of being Anissa, the director of sales and marketing. That was not me. That didn't feel like me. Today, I wake up every morning and I say, yes, I am going to work. That's how it should happen.
It was really very tough. For 17 years, I've had my DJ business as well as my day jobs. And at some points, it was a matter of I worked 7 days a week for months and months. It was really very hard. Sleepless nights, because my DJ job is in the evening, and then I have to go to work at 6 or 7 a.m. So it was really hard to balance in between these two. And then when is the point when you know exactly when to quit your day job? Well, after 17 years of doing both, I decided to quit my day job when I felt that, okay, fine, my DJ business is paying me so much more, like maybe 5 or 6 times more than my day job salary. That's one. And then I made sure that I buy my necessities. Like, for example, I always wanted to buy my own house, so there it goes. I got it. And then I always wanted to, for example, make sure that everything around me, family and everything is okay. So I made sure that that's fine as well. And then before you quit your day job, you have to make sure that you have enough savings for at least the next 5 or 10 years before you quit. You assure that. Well, that's what I did.
Okay. There was a study done recently on Omani female entrepreneurs, and there were some reasons listed down as to why they hesitate to start off something by themselves. And some of the top 3 reasons, a few of which we've already heard today. The first one was, of course, finding sources of capital and funding. The second was society's outlook on them, in case that their passion didn't go line in line with society's expectations of them, or fearing future financial instability. So something that we didn't talk about, especially in your case, is society's outlook. Did that ever stop you from doing that full time? Did you not want to be known as the DJ?
Yeah. It was tough because at first I thought I'm gonna leave DJing for my day job. But then I left my day job for my evening job, for my my own business. It was really tough facing society, facing the way they look at you, facing, like, I appear in this business, in this field, with all the singers who have full makeup and everything, looking so practical, yet I made it. And that was a huge difficulty for me. Like, there's a lot more, but then I'll stop here.
Do you want to hear more? Yeah, so I think that's where people are interested, where you stopped. So did you feel some... No? Okay.
Because, you know, it's all about influence, and maybe some people may not agree to some of the influence that I made, you know, put out there.
I understand. But what I find interesting is you mentioned things like appearance, and I think that's a theme that...
Practical, very, very practical, and I love it.
I think that's a theme that a lot of people can relate with, especially women, because we are given so much importance on the way we look, and we spend way too much time on our hair and way too much time... no, not you. Lucky you. So I don't think this is a topic to shy away from, at least one of those. I think that's a topic which we can openly talk to each other as women. Like, can I just go out without makeup today? Yeah, you can. I will too.
Yes, you can. And you can be a celebrity, and you can be famous. You can do whatever you want. Just love yourself.
Can I add to that? Just as a woman working in the outdoors and in sports, Marwa might agree with me, I've realized that women from a young age, girls, are taught to be perfect, are taught not to make mistakes, are taught to be the best that they can be, which results in us seeing failure as something wrong. We're constantly told, you shouldn't fail, you should be the best, you should be amazing, you should be, don't fail. And boys in sports get hurt all the time, they fall over, they scrape their knees, whereas a girl, I remember growing up, my mom would always say, oh, you're a girl, or my dad, you're a girl, don't scrape your knees, who's going to marry you one day? You know, no, honestly, those quote, unquote, that's what they said. But we need to make mistakes, we need to fall, we need to get hurt so that we can get back up and learn from it. And I think that's what, sports and working in the outdoors has taught me.
I think that also reflects in whether we apply for job interviews or not. I was sitting at dinner with 2 friends. One was a guy and one was a girl. And they were talking about applying for new jobs. And the boy said, yeah, I saw this job offer online. They wanted someone with 10 years experience. I've got 6, but I applied anyway. And I got an interview. They're going to pay for my train ticket there. And the girl sitting right next to her was telling me about a job offer that she saw online, and it needed 5 years experience, which she had, but she still didn't apply because she thought she didn't have all the other things on the list, like Microsoft Excel board. And she was like, no, I have 5 years experience, but I don't know if I'd be good enough for the job. And this comes line in line with what you're saying, because women are told you can only do it if you're perfect at it, and if you do it, you have to be perfect at it. But I think men are raised in a different way, like, just go for it. And I think women should also just go for it, even if they're not prepared.
Men help each other so much. So much. They're always there for each other. They stick by each other. Us women, I don't know if it's an element of a little tiny bit of jealousy or what it is exactly, but we really need to help each other like men do. They come in groups. They like this. Thank you. The smallest example for that is like how many female bands are there and how many male bands are there, or just like different things that men do together while we can't. Like you go out here and you probably see men playing football outside. Why can't us women just simply gather and do things together like they do? I mean, we can do that.
Okay, so this has already been an excellent segue into my next question. So my next question is about, I mean, a lot of the things that you have achieved would seem, so to say, impossible for women to achieve in the region or even globally. And no, but for some people it may seem like, what? Omani women in North Pole? No. There are people that would deem these things as impossible. And I ask myself, why? You know, and if you listen to a speech from an influential woman, you might have heard plenty. At the end of it, she will most likely say something along the lines of, don't let anything stop you. Don't let anything hold you back. But what is she talking about? Can we address some of those things? So we've addressed a few already on the panel today. Is there something that you'd like to add? Some barriers that you think women face? And also, how do you think they can be solved? So are they legislative? Because you mentioned about getting finance and government policy. So are they legislative issues? Can we change them by changing regulation? Or are the barriers institutional, cultural, social? Jalal, you can...
I don't know why it's...
Leila, go. Yeah.
There are restrictions. However, well, I'm a person who has done it without loans, without the aid of my family, without the aid of any... Like, I haven't had anyone help me through. However, it's within you. It's you. You should not look at, oh, this law is restricting me or this person is restricting me. No, it's within your heart. You want to get somewhere? All you have to do is just feel it, you know? Just work hard for it. You're going to get there. You should not have any excuses in your path. Just go for it.
Jalal?
Yeah, if I could add on that, I think mostly cultural limitations have an impact on what we can do and what we can't do, what we think we can do and what we think we can't do. I left for a year, and when I came back, my parents wanted to take my passport away from me because they were worried that I would continue, and I was in an unsafe place. So those are their perceptions of safety, whereas I know that I was held and protected the entire journey of helping others, and as was mentioned before by Dr. Nadia, when you help one person, it makes a difference in the entire world. So what you can do starts from you and stops from you. And when there's a will, there's a way. There's always a way.
My father
there's always a way to get around things and find a solution to the barriers. So cultural, for me, many people told me, oh, she's running away from her life. She's run away from reality. Actually, I went nosedive into reality, and it smacked me in the face, and I realized I haven't been living my truth. I need to come home to myself, and I need to know what exactly my soul is yearning. And my soul was yearning to feel good in a company, in job. A lot of us feel we've got responsibilities, and we really can't afford to change our way or our direction or what we're doing in our lives because of these this is what I'm good at. I should just stick to it until I bury my own grave. And that's not the case. Go out and explore the world. Go out and explore yourself, because you can find yourself in that journey of breaking those rules and breaking those barriers.
This brings me to my next question, actually. So there are a lot of labels for women, such as supermom and superwoman and multitasker, because a lot of the times we seem to do everything by ourselves. And that has been the case with two of our speakers today. But I'm wondering if there are also speakers on the panel or women that you know who did things with support. I mean, sometimes we heard that in today's stories. We had supportive moms, we have supportive mentors, or maybe you have an institution that believed in you and funded you, or even just support at home in the form of maybe, there was this really interesting thing that happened on Twitter, which I have to share. So in the world of celebrity, it's all over social media. There's women that give birth, and then right after they give birth, if they're famous, after 2 months, they look like a model again. And then there's a lot of women that put themselves up to this unachievable expectation. And one model came out and said openly, my mom lives at home with me. She takes care of my kids. I've got a cook. I've got 2 people helping me, and I've got a trainer, and I didn't do it myself. And what that does is it gives us a whole picture, and it makes something understandable and comprehensible. So can you talk a little bit about support? What kind of support can you get if you are someone who cannot do it yourself? Family support, a therapist, or have you had any support in your lives, or did you get here all by yourself? Lejena?
Yeah, I can remember a time. So I got married at a very young age, 18. And I, of course, with that, I wanted to complete my studies. So when I went to study in my 3rd year university, I got pregnant with my first child. And it was very hard for me because I felt that I needed to choose between completing my studies or taking care of my baby. It was because of support of my husband and my family I was able to, make my own choice and actually take care of my child and also complete my studies. So I came back to Oman, had 1 year break, took care of my kid, and then went back. Now, it was very hard decision for me. It was my first child, and it was a new experience for me. But because of their support, I was able to do it. It wasn't an easy one, but it was something that because of them being there for me, I was able. Now looking back at it, I feel like I made the right decision. My daughter now, she's 16 years old. She always plays that card that I left her when she wants something from me. But basically, I always try and tell her, in terms of how important that was and all that. And in business, the same thing. You always have the support, not only of your family, but even friends who have been through that, Business decisions are business is challenging and hard. And, sometimes you don't know when you're facing something new. You can speak to friends who have been through the same thing, and they can help you with that. So it's important.
I read a little bit about your bio, and it said that you've also had family in business, and they put you in business at a very young age. So has this influenced how you would raise your own kids, and maybe for moms in the audience, about how they could raise their daughters to be more following of their passion?
well, I was always interested in that. So whenever my parents would go to their business, I would always go with them. And at the age of 18, I actually took over one of the branches and I was managing it myself. Being a mother, I feel very guilty when I'm busy, you know, I had a full-time job. I quit my job last year, but having a full-time job, having a business and kids, I always felt guilty, of course. And when there is time, my daughter will be, oh, you were not here yesterday and I needed you. I would always try and tell her that, you know, I'm doing this so I can be an example to you. You know, you can see how you can be independent in the future. Now, for example, she's 16 and she wants to do film industry. My husband is freaking out. But for me, I actually encourage her. You know, she can choose whatever she wants to do, and it's okay. She doesn't have to follow, you know, whatever others are doing, and she can choose her own path. So I always encourage her, whatever, and her and my other kids, you know, whatever they want to do. The new thing is now YouTube. It's a career. So my kids, my little ones come and tell me, oh, we want to be on YouTube, you know. For us, our culture is something new, but you know what? You see others doing it, being successful. As long as we protect them and make sure they're safe, it's their path, it's their choice.
That's very brave of you. So there's, as you can see already, there's so many different shades of bravery on our panel and of the women that have spoken today. How good are we on time? We're out of time. Okay. Let's skip that.
Aisha, while you're talking about support, can I just really quick
Please,
one sentence,
yes,
okay?
please.
So everybody talks about Anisa made it to the North Pole and all of that. I just want to make it 2 points here. First of all, like you said, I'm just like everybody else. Working in a sales and marketing job, you know, it was just like everyone else. Any one of you could go to the North Pole. It doesn't have to be the North Pole. It could be any dream that you chose. That was my North Pole. Doesn't have to be your North Pole. The second message I have is that there's no way I could have done it alone in many ways. First of all, it was a team of 11 women from various backgrounds. There were reporters, there were scientists, there were moms, there were teachers, there were ordinary women just like me. But without their support, without the support of each other, we would not have made it. Before we became a team as well, we all had to get support from back home in terms of sponsorship. So you would have to have people who believe in what you were about to set out to do. When we were in Norway, just getting onto the plane to head to the North Pole, there were already groups of refined explorers over there looking at us. 11 women, obviously rookies, first time going to the North Pole. And, you know, there was obviously disbelief on their faces. Are they actually going to make it? With the support that we had, not only from our friends, our family, from each other, but from the inspiration that we got. Okay, before I went to the North Pole, I was doing talks in schools. One of the major supporters for me, one of the biggest motivations while I was out there, were the young people and the inspiration I saw on their faces when I was telling them the story of what I'm about to set off to do. And that was something that was a constant support for me while I was there. The faces of those young girls thinking that one day I want to be like Anisa. You know, that was my support. That was what kept me going.
Okay. So we've heard about a lot of support today. So you can find support with your family, with your friends. If you haven't got support,
With your fans.
With your not everyone can relate. But when you haven't got the support of your family or friends, you can rely on yourself, and we've seen an example of that as well. You can have support from other women who are on the same journey as you, reaching their own North Pole. So those are fantastic ways that you can find support if you are struggling to get somewhere. So we're going to wrap it up with a rapid fire. I want one sentence from all of you about advice to young women and older women in the crowd of how to get somewhere if they think that reaching there is impossible. Just one quick sentence. Can we start with Lejana?
So this is something I tell myself all the time. We always face challenges, and for me, whenever there's a challenge or there's a problem I need to face in the business, I always say it's temporary and it's moving. So tomorrow is a new day. So yeah.
One of my favorite.
Mine will be stop feeling sorry for yourself. Don't feel sorry for yourself. If you want to go for your dream, just go for it wholeheartedly with all courage. Yeah.
On a similar theme, turn your excuses into reasons why you should do it. And no matter how dark everything seems at one point, what happens to a diamond? A diamond shines only after it gets pressured. So you go do it.
Yeah, my message is, I hope you fail. I really do. I hope you fail, I hope you fall, I hope you get hurt, but in the end, I hope you get back up and learn from it and make something of it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you all, you four wonderful women, and all the women that have spoken today. We are all so inspired by you. Thank you for being here. And I hope that the things that we shared today would spark something in your life to not only make your lives better, but your communities, your families, and on a global scale, I hope, because we are representative of a large part of the world, Middle Eastern women. We are in focus right now. Women are the face of the Middle East, and it's a global change happening, not just a local one. So hats off to us. Thanks for having us.
Aisha, please give her another round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much. I couldn't think of a better way to conclude this evening. DJ Lael, can I ask you for a favor? Can you help us wake this audience up so we can end this? Yes, thank you. Guys, don't resist the urge to dance. And now for the closing ceremony, we'd like to invite Sayyida Rawan to come up and give token of appreciation to all our speakers. So please come up. I don't know where the tokens are, but we'll just go with it. The first person we'll be giving the token of appreciation to is our chief guest. Please welcome MP Safa Al Hashim. I don't know, maybe we should go over there to make it... Yeah. I don't know, I'm not sure. You could stay on stage عشان السبيكرز الثانيين. Please welcome دكتورة رحمة المحروقي. Should I call the next one or wait? السيدة بسمة السعيد. Go ahead. Yeah, yours is here. دكتورة نادية السعدي. شيماء العوفي. Our very own resident DJ Lail. Arwa Wagayan. Where's Arwa? Oh, Arwa's here. Okay. You want to do it? Okay. I'll just stand over there then. Dia Isha. أسماء مصطفى. مها اللمكي. مروة الوضاحي. أنيسة الرئيسي. دلال درويش. And last but not least لجينا الخروصي. We'd also like to give tokens of appreciation to our sponsors. Right? Zubair Corporation. Did they come up or? Yes? Okay. Should I? Okay. Orpic. United Nations Population Funds. Yeah. You. Oman Convention and Exhibition Center that provided this amazing venue. Crown Plaza, OCAC. Milky Way Technology. مباشر. And last but not least, Muscat University. We'd also like to present the awards for the competition, the video that we saw. So the winners of the competition, you can come and collect your award. Burjeel Hospital. We're waiting for the students for the competition. You guys, can you get it moving, please? Thank you. Faster. Come on. Go get your award. Okay. This is a special one for you. You can still go ahead for me. And finally, we'd like to honor our chief guest, Sayyida Rawan. Thank you so much for hosting us with your presence. We really appreciate it. Presented by the Director of Experiment Events, Zamil Amin.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You get a bigger one. Wow, cool. That's cool. Thank you all for being here tonight. Stay tuned for next year. There's dinner outside if you're hungry.